sidelines while Bob Neal and Tim Foley bring you the game in just a moment.
From the Superdome in New Orleans, two of the most talked about coaches in the nation, LSU's Jerry Stovall and Tulane's Wally English. Last year's game in Baton Rouge proved to be the biggest upset in the nation. LSU, favored by 24 points and on their way to the Orange Bowl, fell for the second time in a row to the green wave of Tulane. Tonight's game will prove to be equally exciting, with number 4 quarterback Mark Massey, the 4th quarterback to start for Coach Wally English this year. LSU will answer with the Dalton James gang. This is number 21, running back sophomore Dalton Hilliard, who already is ranked 6th in LSU rushing history with 1,530 yards. Number 33 is Gary James, who had this great run against the highly ranked Washington Huskies earlier this year. Having a great sophomore season at quarterback, number 5, Jeff Wickersham. He's rewritten the LSU record book here, throwing to number 41, Eric Martin, LSU's career reception leader. Tonight from the Superdome, the Battle of New Orleans.
Sports presents Primetime NCAA College Football. Tonight's game features the battle between the Tigers of LSU and the Green Wave of Tulane. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1 and USA 1 is taking charge. By Coors, now the best of the Rockies is yours. By members only, outerwear and sportswear. When you put it on, something happens. By National Car Rental. Whether you're renting for business or pleasure, we give you national attention, and that's the truth. And by Valvoline, your symbol of protection.
Thanksgiving weekend and the big USA 1 year-end sales drive is on. Chevy dealers are out to sell 250,000 cars and trucks by year's end. With so many to sell, it's dealing time. There's another reason to see your Chevy dealer. You can save up to $375 on a specially equipped Cavalier Type 10 or $330 on a new Celebrity. And for the first time ever from Chevrolet, take retail delivery now on any of these selected models only and make no monthly payment until March 1st with GMAC financing. See your Chevy dealer now.
From the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. They call it the Pride of Louisiana Bowl. There are the Tigers of Louisiana State University, LSU. A disappointing 3-7 season for the Tigers. From Tulane, 4-6 on the year, the Green Wave. For the past 2 years in a row, the Green Wave has upset LSU. It's been many years since Tulane has defeated LSU 3 times in a row. And down here in New Orleans and all over the state of Louisiana, it's for all the marbles, no matter the record of these two teams. Both coaches embroiled in controversy of one sort or another all year. Wally English, the head coach of Tulane, embroiled with the controversy over his son being eligible to play. And, of course, for Jerry Stovall, rumors bouncing around the state of Louisiana that this may be his last college football game. So it's under that cloak with both coaches that we enter this game tonight, Tim Foley.
And it should be an offensive battle. If Jerry Stovall's the type of fellow that if he sees himself going down, he's going to go down with his teeth in your leg. He's a fighter. He's going to have his team ready to play. And they have some offense. They entered the year with great expectations. Injury beset them on offense. Defensively, they were a young team. And last week, they had 7 freshmen on the field against Mississippi State. There'll be a lot of offense from LSU. Tulane, they're playing their quarterback now that was their 5th string quarterback at the start of the year, Mark Massey, who really displayed a lot of composure last week against Virginia Tech, completing 60% of his passes. They've got a defense that is a move and blitz defense, so it should be an exciting game.
And the running backs for both teams are exciting. For Tulane, it'll be Mike Jones and Elton Veals, and of course, they call them the Dalton James gang for LSU, Dalton Hilliard and Gary James. We're looking for an exciting game at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Kickoff is only moments away.
20 seconds left. What is it? Come on, let's go. You call us when you get a place out, baby. Huh?
you when you get a quasar.
Chairman said, all 3 more.
For quality and dependability, shouldn't you have a Quasar?
That sounds like a hit record.
You know, if there's one thing we insist on, it's originality. In our music and in our clothes. And that's why we wear original members only.
The fit and style fit our style.
Hey, speaking of style.
You put it on, something happens to you. And remember, it's not really members only unless it says so. Right here on the pocket. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
They started it all in 1893, these two Louisiana institutions of higher education. Talking about their football series, LSU leads by a lopsided margin, but the last couple of years, it was Tulane. And as you can see, these games have been lopsided at the bottom of your screen there in favor of LSU scoring-wise over the years, but this is not over the years. This is 1983. LSU comes into this game a 3-point favorite, but a lot of people think it's even closer than that. There's the man who'll kick off for LSU. His name is Juan Betanzos. He has a kick he calls the sky kick. Often it'll bring rain, which isn't easy here in the Superdome. Mike Jones, number 42, is the deep receiver. There it is, very high, very deep. Jones elects to touch it down, and Tulane will bring it out to the 20, first down and 20. First down and 10, and let's look now at the offensive backfield for the Green Wave. Mark Massey, the 4th quarterback of the year for this team here, the Green Wave. Mike Jones is the tailback, 5'11", 185 pounds. And Elton Beals went to Merritt Junior College, broke all of O.J. Simpson's junior college rushing records in California. He was a tailback. They've moved him to fullback. The Tulane Green Wave in their dark home jerseys. There's not really a home or visitor, but technically LSU is a visitor here in the Superdome. First down 10 from the 20. There is Mark Massey. He wears number 4. Hands off to the tailback, Mike Jones. Twists for about 3.5 yards and no more. And this football game is underway. Now the receivers for the Tulane Green Wave. Wayne Smith, perhaps the team's best athlete, leads in receptions and touchdown catches. This man, Robert Griffin, may break a lot of the Tulane receiving records before his career is over. The tight end, Mark Savini, with 26 catches on the year. And he's a tight end size, 6'4" and 225.
A lot tonight too, Bob. Larry Rout, number 84, you'll see him in there. They're going to try to balance up that LSU defense.
Second down 7. Line of scrimmage, 23-yard line. Tulane with double tight ends, as Tim just pointed out. One split end, and Mark Massey says, hold it a moment. Delay of game is going to be the call. He did not say hold it a moment, but Mark Massey, who is only starting his first game for LSU, he came in relief 2 weeks ago, did not get the signal called in the allotted 25 seconds.
Delay on play, second down.
Paul Schmidt, the referee from Louisville, Kentucky tonight, the man in the white hat. He's the man whose voice you will hear announcing the infractions in the football game. Opening moments of play for the Superdome in New Orleans. They call it the Pride of Louisiana Bowl. Now second down 12 from the 18. Massey can find nobody down at the 21-yard line. Tackle by 73, Eric Kittock, the defensive left tackle for the LSU Tigers. Let's have a look at the offensive line now for LSU. Don Maggs on his way to the Senior Bowl, a strong one at left tackle. Frank Roberts has an opportunity, if Tulane wins, to be 4-0 against LSU, which is indeed some accomplishment. He won in 79, dropped out of school in 80, and of course Tulane also won in 81 and 82, and they're hopeful of winning here tonight in 83. LSU, of course, has other plans. Third down 8, Tulane. 2 receivers up to the top of your screen, 1 down to the bottom, and there are 5 LSU defensive backs in. Penalty markers go down. Mark Massey is hit at the 19-yard line.
This play is going to come back, Bob. The referee threw the official. The 25-second clock had expired before the ball was snapped. So they'll do this one again from 5 yards farther back.
Tim, as you were pointing out, let's listen to the call. There it is.
The play did not get off. It's going to be third down. I'm going to penalty.
Once again, only 25 seconds to get that off. There's the 30-second clock that counts down to 0. The snap has to happen in 25 seconds after the official gives the signal. There you see him doing it again. Now, as you were pointing out at the beginning of the game, Mark Massey has not started before. And even though he's got a clear mind, he may have some problems calling the checkoffs and the signals.
Unquestionably, they send the signals in. One coach sends in the formation, one sends in the signal, and it's causing him a little problem early.
From the 17-yard line, 3rd down, 13. Massey going upstairs, double coverage, Wayne Smith. And it's intercepted by 29, Lifford Hobley. That one was just thrown up for grabs, and Hobley was there to pick it off. It was intended for Smith.
I think what they're trying to do here is run a little curl and go. Massey gets the ball up a little bit early. The receiver had not had time to make his move. Wayne Smith toward the corner. Hobley makes the interception.
So it's LSU ball on the first turnover of this football game. It's at the 48.5-yard line of the Tulane Green Wave, and they're in their white jerseys and their gold trousers, the Tigers of LSU. Jeff Wickersham, the sophomore quarterback, number 5. Hand off to the tailback, Dalton Hilliard. Ball comes loose. It's Tulane football at the 43-yard line with the ball, number 14, Trey Sonji, the junior from New Orleans. Oh, boy, we're in for one here tonight.
Little trap play. Neal does a nice job of closing. Jackson knocks the ball out. Sanji's on it.
Well, back to Tulane. I have a feeling we could see this thing seesaw all night long. Last year's game was one of the best in the history of the series. It started in 1893. First down 10, Tulane from the 42-yard line of the Green Wave. This is tailback Mike Jones driving into the left side of the line for about 2. The tackle made by the freshman from Ruston, Louisiana, Mike Brooks, who's starting at the right outside linebacker position for LSU. You see him... well, he's not listed there, but trust me, he is the man, Mike Brooks. They have Freddie Lewis listed, and he is replacing Radell Melanson, a very important player who was injured as you look at the defensive backfield. Lifford Hobley, the key in the secondary. 2nd down, 7, Tulane from the 45-yard line of the Green Wave. In motion, Mike Jones, a tailback. And on the left side, the tackle, number 77, Randy Sappy, who's normally 77, Jim Boyle, who's normally on the right side. It switched over to the left side that time, and he pulled back before the ball was snapped.
The types of things that are happening to Tulane at this moment are things
Got a dead ball, illegal pursuit,
that usually occur in the first game of the season. But understand, this is Massey's first start. There will be a little bit of added pressure. People are trying to get used to his count. He's trying to get used to taking the snap in front of all these folks in the Superdome.
So they move it back to the 40. 2nd down, 12. Tulane ball, 12:09 to go, quarter number 1. Mistake-ridden so far. Here's a reverse to Wayne Smith. He has running room. There's the first down marker. Out of bounds goes Wayne Smith at the 40-yard line. Penalty markers fly. He was chased out by the freshman linebacker, Mike Brooks. A 20-yard scamper by Wayne Smith, perhaps the best athlete on this Tulane offensive team. Number 3, a senior from New Orleans. He's 6'2", 190. Clipping the call against Tulane, and back it will come. As you can hear, some problems with the transmission and the portable transmitter on the hip of our referee tonight. There is Wally English, 44 years old, his first year as head coach at Tulane. So Tulane ball again, 2nd down, 12 from the 45-yard line. They measure that off, of course, from the spot of the infraction. That's why it's back to the 45. Now they're saying 2nd down, 7, excuse me. The pass is complete to Robert Griffin at the 40. Trying to catch the ball before it got to Griffin was number 3, Wayne Smith. But Griffin gets the reception, his 24th of the year. First down, Green Wave.
You're going to see two receivers tonight that have tremendous concentration. Robert Griffin is one, catching the ball here. Wayne Smith the other. We saw Griffin make some great catches the last time we were in the Superdome versus Vandy. He took some tremendous shots but hung on to the football.
Well, it hasn't been pretty, but Tulane has marched it from their 20 down to the LSU 40 after 2 turnovers. Here's a draw to the tailback, Jones. He gets inside the 40 to about the 37.5-yard line. Tackle made by 73, Eric Kittock, the defensive left tackle. And there is the head coach at LSU, Jerry Stovall.
One of the finest men in football. He's done an excellent job recruiting at LSU. Took him to the Orange Bowl last year, lost by 1 point. And this year he finds himself in the hot seat. I don't feel this game will have any effect at all on the decision that will be made with regard to that man's future at college coaching.
It is second down, 8 Tulane from the 38-yard line of LSU. In motion, Mike Jones, the tailback. Mark Massey, under pressure, gets it off and throws it away. There was great pressure back there in the offensive backfield by Greg Dubrock, number 44. He's the defensive left outside linebacker, a junior from New Orleans, who put the pressure on that man. Mark Massey, the 4th quarterback this year for the Tulane Green Wave. First it was Bubba Brister, then it was John English, then it was Wade Elmore, and there was even another one earlier, Joey Gagliardi, who transferred to Boston College.
Correct. He was number 5 on the depth chart when the season started.
So third down, 8 from the 38 after the pass incompletion. Penalty markers go down. Mark Massey goes down at the 44. Steve Rehage makes the tackle, number 7. As you can see, the Tulane Green Wave not together at all offensively thus far in the ball game. Mark Savini, number 89, the tight end, was the man who was illegally in motion.
The tight end was flexed out from the tackle in a flex position so he could get an easy release off the line of scrimmage on a pass called. Massey had checked off. The tight end will then move in and align himself right next to the offensive tackle. There's Massey standing on the sideline. They've substituted Wade Elmore into the game now.
This is a 4th down and 8. Elmore often will go into a shotgun formation and sometimes quick kick, as you see him dropping right now. He can also throw from this position, as he played quarterback in high school. But he's going to punt it out of the short punt formation. It's coming down at the 10, going out of bounds. A great job of getting it out of bounds at the 9.5-yard line by Wade Elmore. And it'll be LSU ball, first down 10, inside their own 10.
The sun brings out all kinds of people, and they all want a beer that won't slow them down.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, turn it loose tonight. Beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
Where'd you get this price? That's not the weekend rate you promised me.
Of course it is, sir.
No way.
Would I lie?
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive, sir.
Only National guarantees weekend rates. Just $19.95 a day or less for any car up to this Olds Cutlass, guaranteed. And if we don't deliver, you'll get $50 off your next rental. We give you national attention, and that's the truth.
Be watching when the Atlanta Hawks take on Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics in a rematch of last year's playoff battle. Friday, 7:35 Eastern on Superstation WTBS.
So now it's LSU football once again from the Superdome in New Orleans. Clifford Hobley intercepted earlier, but 2 plays later they fumbled. Here comes Gary James, the tailback, as Dalton Hilliard fumbled the first time he called it, the starting tailback. Let's look at the offensive backfield. Gary James is in there right now. Jeff Wickersham is the sophomore quarterback, 4th in the SEC in passing percentage. Hilliard's the man who started. Gary James playing now the alternated tailback, and this is the man you'll see almost all night at fullback, Gene Lang. He used to be a tailback and was moved when Hilliard and James showed up on the campus of LSU. Second down 8 from the 12. Scoreless game, 9:54 to go, quarter number 1. Gary James drives it out close to the first down. Going to be about a yard short to the 18.5, 19-yard line. Goes number 33, Gary James, the sophomore from Gretna. Here are the receivers for the Tigers. First of all, Herman Fontenot, former running back, 22 catches on the year. Another former running back, Eric Martin, third in the SEC, leads this team, 49 catches. And Mitch Andrews, the tight end, 6'3", 240, a sophomore. Third down, 1. Gary James gets the first down to the 22-yard line. Tackled by Burnell Dent and David Jackson, the inside linebackers for the Green Wave of LSU. There's that offensive line. Mike Gambrell, the only center. Their man he alternated with, Tommy Campbell's been hurt, but Clint Berry's a good one on the left side, Tim.
Certainly is. They've got a couple of big tackles, and they've got good feet for being as big as they are.
Lance Smith, the other side, the other bookend, number 75. First down, 10 from the 22-yard line, LSU. In motion, Gary James, and off to the fullback, Lang to the 28-yard line. That was David Jackson, number 41, with the tackle for the Green Wave. Green Wave's been playing pretty well defensively of late, too, as you take a look at the defensive team there. Cormier, Cannon, Perez, Wenzel, and Eddie Neal. He's the big deep penetration guy at the right end, number 99. The linebackers, Jackson and Dent, kind of the heart of the tackling game as far as run stoppage is concerned. And the back in the backfield, Sonji is one of the leaders. He's number 14. It is now second down, 4. In motion, number 40, Herman Fontenot. Wickersham in a lot of trouble. Down at the 24-yard line. First man back there, Trey Sonji. Donald Ray Thomas also back there. Sanji's 14, Donald Ray Thomas 22, both defensive backs.
Nothing fancy about this. Wickersham just goes the wrong way. You don't see it happen too often to a quarterback, but it happened to Jeff that time. Before we go much farther, you know this is Thanksgiving, and my wife is in Nashville with some friends of ours. Like to wish her a happy Thanksgiving. All those folks that have watched our games religiously here on TBS.
Third down, 7 from the 24, LSU. A long 7, you might call it 8. Deep drop by Wickersham. And the pass receiver was hit. That was Gene Lang, number 25. And number 41, David Jackson in green, hit him before the ball got there. There may be a pass interference call here, unless the official rules it was behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll wait and get the call. But looks like Wickersham was indicating it'll be holding against LSU.
Well, the flag came from the other side of the field.
There it is. Paul Schmidt with the signal, holding LSU. Take a look at that again, Tim, and look if he wasn't hit before he caught it here.
I don't think there's any question about it that Jackson was coming. A lot of times a linebacker will focus in on a receiver. He breaks through the blockers, and in doing that runs into the intended receiver.
Well, Tulane turned down the penalty, of course, as that was third down. It is now fourth down in a punting situation for LSU. And into punt comes Clay Parker, the barefoot punter. The junior, 6'1", 180 from Grayson, Louisiana, averaging 40.3 yards on the year. In our LSU-UT game, this young man just had a nightmare of a problem with long snaps. This one's very good. And he gets away an end-over-end kick. Not a good one, but he gets an LSU bounce. It's picked up by freshman Tyrone Bonds and run out of bounds at the 42-yard line. There, Tulane will take over.
When my designs are late, buyers don't give us a second chance. Emery's International Service goes door to door, fast.
Call Emery. We've earned the trust of American business.
Oh, nice meeting you, big guy.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
When Valvoline announced its gold medal sale with special prices on Valvoline motor oil, we knew it'd be popular, but we didn't know it'd be like this.
I can't believe it's all gone.
Getting a top-quality motor oil, an oil that won a gold medal for lubricating excellence at a money-saving offer, is too good to pass up.
I can't believe it's all gone.
Better get yours now while you can. Look for Valvoline on sale where you see the gold medal sale sign. But hurry, it's going fast.
Be watching when the Atlanta Hawks take on Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics in a rematch of last year's playoff battle. Friday, 7:35 Eastern on Superstation WTBS.
America's taxpayers are demanding accountability in education. High school activities involve over 1/2 of the students of most schools at a net cost of 1 to 3% of most budgets. That's the best bargain in education, and it lasts a lifetime.
So let's see, Mark Massey is back in the game. Elmore came in only for the punting situation. That short punt formation instead of the punter. Massey is in the game at quarterback for Tulane, and he runs out of bounds on the far side after a gain of about 5. Number 4, Jeffrey Dale with the tackle.
Massey's having a little bit of a problem. What happened to him on the last third down situation he was in, he shifted the tight end, didn't give him time to get set. On that play, Veals shifted and was barely set. So he's got to give those folks a little bit more time to move around. They have to be set for a second.
Massey, 6'1", 185, a junior from Pensacola. He went to Florida, transferred here so he could play, and now as a junior, he's getting his opportunity. 2nd down, 5. In motion, Mike Jones. That's who the pass is thrown to. Jones cuts it back upfield and fumbles the ball. Preliminary indication is it was after he was down, and I believe after Jones picked up the first down. He was tripped up by 19 Alex Clark, the left cornerback for LSU. It'll be 1st down, Tulane Green Wave. We're in the first quarter. Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana. Happy Thanksgiving. 7:09 to go in this first quarter, and I would join with Tim in adding happy Thanksgiving to everyone. My family all together in Atlanta today. Son home from college. Other son not yet gone to college. Both are still there with my wife and mom, and I hope they're having a nice day too. Want to add quickly also a happy Thanksgiving and our thanks to the folks in the armed forces, wherever they may be in these United States and around the world representing the United States of America on Thanksgiving 1983. Clock ticking down, but Massey gets the snap off before the 25 seconds. He lapses. Throws on the run, incomplete at the 24-yard line. He was trying to hit number 83, Robert Griffin. Eugene Daniel, number 35, covering.
Massey maintained his composure fairly well on that play. Saw his primary receivers covered. Looked for a hole in the pocket, began to scramble, and Richard worked his way back to the football. Massey put it there, but bounced off Robert Griffin's shoulder pads.
He was recruited back in the days that Wayne Pease, who's at Florida now, and John Bond at Mississippi State, finally elected to go to Florida. I know Bobby Bowden at FSU recruited Mark Massey. He was highly thought of in high school in Florida. It's picked off with the interception, number 4, Jeffrey Dale, who missed the Mississippi State game due to illness. He's back and has an interception for the Tigers. It was intended for 89 Mark Savini, the tight end, I believe.
This is a play we saw Mississippi use so successfully against Tennessee. Savini just dragging across the middle of the field, short, man-to-man coverage this time by Dale. Moved in front, made the interception.
Back come the Tigers. 1st down, 10 from the 41-yard line of LSU. 6:35 to go, quarter number 1. At the 29-yard line, Jeff Wickersham goes down. Melvin Cormier, a junior from Lake Charles, Louisiana, with his 3rd quarterback sack of the year on that young sophomore, Jeff Wickersham.
Cormier has just been a remarkable performer for Tulane this year. Looked like he was dragged down, got back up, and still made the sack. Bob, he was a fullback. 2 games into the season, they had some injury problems. They moved him to outside linebacker. He started the first game he ever played at linebacker and has improved throughout the year.
Well, he's playing in the backfield anyway. I guess that's the way he looks at it. It just happens to be the opponent's backfield. Wickersham on the 2nd down, 21. It's complete to Hilliard. Hilliard short of the first down. He goes down at the 48-yard line, but needs to get to the 49-yard line of Tulane for the first down. It was an 18-yard reception.
Just running Hilliard underneath the coverage. It's a matter of there's Burnell Dent. Spent a little bit too much time with the tight end. Didn't get his head back around to see the ball being thrown.
You can't give Hilliard very much time, that is for sure. Hilliard runs a 4.640. He breaks it out, and there's trouble. Popping in on the left side off the defensive tackle position, number 97, Chris Cannon for Tulane. A lot of penalty markers in this game already in the first quarter. If we can believe the Tulane enthusiasm, the penalty will go against LSU. 5:14 to go, quarter number 1. Scoreless football game from the Superdome. The first of a big 4-event super sports weekend on the Superstation.
With a dead ball, false start.
Hawks and Celtics tomorrow night from Boston Garden. Saturday night, Louisville, Kentucky basketball from Rupp Arena. Then Tim and I will be back with you on Sunday night from Richmond, Kentucky for 1AA playoff action. Boston University with the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky University.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure.
That's some good football they play at Eastern Kentucky. Bob, we were there a couple times last year.
And Boston University's got some great players. They're in the Yankee Conference. Be interesting to watch the Yankees come down and play in the heartland of Kentucky. Third down, 8, Wickersham. It's incomplete. Trying to hit number 13, the redshirt freshman, Craig Rathjen, who is covered by David Jackson. Rathjen, they think he's going to be great. He's 6'3", 205, but he's still learning. You can see the youngness in his eyes.
David Jackson did an excellent job of staying close on that pattern. He had Rathjen covered man for man. They were man-to-man underneath a 2-deep zone. That's a tough coverage assignment.
Number 1 is the punter, a junior from Grayson, Louisiana, Clay Parker. Only a 36-yard punt off his bare foot. Ouch. This time he almost hit the gondola here at the Superdome. It's fair caught by Kurt Bayham down at the 23-yard line. If you can bring rain in the Superdome, that almost did. We'll be right back.
When it comes time to kick up your heels, you want a beer that won't slow you down.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, don't hold back. Turn it loose tonight. Coors Light. Beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light. Turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Are you tough enough to make it with the U.S. Army? Chevy trucks are. The Army contracted for 53,000 tough, full-size Chevy pickups and Blazers. These rugged four-wheel drives are regular production vehicles powered by the proven 6.2-liter diesel V8. Need a truck as tough as the U.S. Army's? Just sign up at your Chevy dealers today. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
Event number 2 in the 4-event super sports weekend here will be tomorrow night at Boston Garden. The Hawks, who are red hot right now, first place NBA Central Division. Celtics are 1 game behind Philadelphia in the Atlantic Division, so that is going to be a fine basketball game. You may remember the controversy between Tree Rollins of the Hawk and Danny Ainge of Boston last year. They'll stir it up again at Boston Garden. The Tulane cheerleaders on the sideline of the Superdome. Green wave ball, first down 10 from their own 24-yard line. Tailback Mike Jones drives out to the 27-yard line, tackled by Carl Wilson, a freshman, number 72.
LSU has super prolific offense. Last week against Mississippi State, they had 515 yards, and they only hit the ball for 25 minutes. The strategy here by Tulane, they're going to throw the ball. They make a live and throw a ball. They win games throwing the ball, but they're going to run it as much as they can to keep that clock running.
Veals and Jones, 2 pretty fair country running backs in there for Tulane. Veals 38, Jones 42. Play fake to Jones. Massey just misses the tight end Mark Savini. Massey's, the book on Massey is that he's a little bit better passer than we've seen here tonight. Has a little bit better arm and not very mobile. But so far, Tim, a little problem rifling the ball in there.
Well, that time Savini was covered. Greg DeBrock had a nice drop from his weak linebacker position and walled him off underneath, and there was some coverage over the top. Massey really threw that ball out of bounds.
One of the things that the head coach of Tulane, Wally English, likes about Massey is his poise under pressure.
Exactly.
His ability to make that decision to throw it away. 3rd down 7 from the 27. Tulane, scoreless game. 4:12 to go, quarter number 1. Overthrew it again. Once again, Robert Griffin. This time he was also covered very well by 35 Eugene Daniel. The defensive backs for LSU, linebackers and defensive back, been doing a good job covering these good receivers, and believe me, the Tulane receivers are good. That man running off the field is going to break some Tulane records before he leaves this college. There's the punter, Jim Barkey, averaging 38.9 on the year. Barkey is a senior from Monongahela, Pennsylvania. Eric Ellington, number 12, is the deep man for LSU. Good job on the punt. Ellington at his 29. Good coverage by Tulane. Down goes Ellington at the 34-yard line. 44-yard punt by Jim Barkey. 3:55 to go, quarter number 1. Scoreless game from the Superdome.
Mr. Transmission presents Your Transmission.
If you had transmission troubles, who would you rather have do the work? Someone who does it part-time, like a service station? Watch it down there, you guys. Or an expert like Mr. Transmission, a local businessman, a neighbor, someone you can trust. Oh, take me to Mr. Transmission. He knows what makes me tick. Oh, that's it, yeah.
From Seiko Technology, the world's first TV watch. From the same advanced technology, a new world of design, refined to the last rivet. Opulent, handsome, his statement of style. Delicate, sinuous, beautiful designs for a woman's wrist. Who but Seiko could create elegance to express the world's most exciting quartz technology? Seiko watches and clocks at your authorized dealer.
Available at all fine jewelry and department stores.
Get ready for a blockbuster rivalry between two top-ranked teams when Louisville collides with Kentucky. Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern on Superstation WTBS.
Neither team able to get anything going in about the first 11 minutes of play here of the first quarter. LSU trying to get their running game on track. Gary James tackled by Burnell Dent. LSU wanted to run the ball more, Tim, early in the year. Jerry Stovall, and it just didn't come down the way he wanted it to.
Well, he had some problems with injuries. It seemed like he couldn't keep Hilliard and James healthy together. And I really feel like from watching LSU, I don't think their offensive line developed quite the way they hoped it would.
Second down 6 from the 37. Jeff Wickersham just breaking all the records throwing the ball at LSU. Completes this one. That's to number 82, Junius Doral. Penalty marker down right near the midfield stripe. Donald Ray Thomas with the tackle. Donald Ray, a senior from Donaldsonville, Louisiana, on the stop for Tulane.
Defensively, you hate to see that receiver have the ball and turn up field before there's contact from the defensive back. Ideally, you'd like the defensive back to be making contact as he catches the ball.
There are 5-yard face mask penalty. It will give them the first down and move it to just outside the Tulane 45-yard line. Let's watch it again. Watch number 22 and number 14, Thomas and Sonji.
Second and medium range. He gets the ball and has room to move, and Donald Ray drags him down before he has a chance to cut it loose. I didn't see any face mask.
Neither did I. Nevertheless, that was the call. Gary James dives into the pile to the 42-yard line. Burnell Dent with the tackle again for Tulane. That inside linebacker's been pretty busy. Gary James, number 33, just carried the ball to 6'2", 205, a sophomore, runs a 4.340, rushed for 128 yards, the first game he ever played for Tulane. Last year he had 166 yards against Tulane. There you go, the LSU tailback, Gary James, part of that Dalton James gang. Second down 7. Wickersham on a second down. Incomplete. He almost hit a guy in the wrong jersey. Doral, the man it was intended for. Closest to the ball, 15, Gene Harris. 27, Bayham.
It's hard to teach a quarterback how to make a decision. You can teach in the situation, but it's tough. Some balls shouldn't be thrown, some should be thrown, and it's a matter of feel more than it is anything else. It's almost like trying to teach a fellow like O.J. Simpson moves. I mean, he either got him or you don't most of the time.
Wickersham succeeded Alan Risher, LSU's great quarterback of 1982. This is 3rd down 6, 5 defensive backs in for Tulane. James, nothing there. James goes down at the 38-yard line, short of the first down, and LSU's drive stalls again.
That's a good-looking play there. They've run a couple of those inside traps, and the backs have had some room. Before the night's over, look for James or Hilliard to break one of those a long way.
So Parker's punted it twice. This is his 3rd time tonight. You see his average is only 34.5, but the last one almost hit the overhanging replay screen here at the Dome. The only person I ever saw hit that screen was Ray Guy in a Pro Bowl. Parker trying to drop this one down inside the 20-yard line, does a pretty good job. He gets it out of bounds at the 10-yard line. That's where Tulane will start their drive. Only a 28-yard punt, but Parker doing a fine job early on here tonight for LSU. Minute 39 to go in the first quarter.
Speaking of the Pro Bowl, there's Jerry Stovall.
He's been there twice.
And really an incredible athlete in college and in the pros. Been under a monumental amount of pressure this year, not only with football, but his wife, Judy, is a real sweetheart, has been sick most of the year. First they thought it was a brain tumor, then they thought it was MS, and they feel like they finally have got it diagnosed. So Jerry has had really a tough year in terms of pressure, trying to keep it all in perspective.
Tulane has Robinson and Ambrose in the backfield now. That was 44, LaRon Ambrose with the carry. Sophomore from Monroe for the Green Wave of Tulane. So clock winds down in the first quarter, and it is still a scoreless ball game. We expected this game to be high scoring. It may yet be, but thus far, these two teams have not been able to get untracked either way. There's Wally English, the man on the other side of the coin, and he's been embroiled in controversy too. He brought his son here. John English transferred him after John had played at several other schools, and the courts finally ruled that John English was ineligible after he played 4 games this year. Elmore in at quarterback now. Elmore's the spread out mobile quarterback. Massey couldn't get him going. They brought that youngster in. He couldn't get much on that play.
And Wally is yet to sign a contract. There were certain things that were promised him when he came here, and they weren't forthcoming in writing, and he's been kind of waiting for that. And he's got a fine young staff, and I know that he's high on the list of a lot of schools that are looking for coaches. So Wally English, career with Pittsburgh and with the Dolphins.
3rd down 8. Tulane, 5 defensive backs in for LSU, expecting a pass, of course. Only 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And there's motion on the left side. It'll be a penalty against Tulane Green Wave. I believe it was Savini again. We were talking about Wally English. Interesting thing, you know, he went to the same high school. He's a native of Louisville. Went to the same high school as Paul Hornung and shared playing time at quarterback. Then he went to the University of Louisville and succeeded Johnny Unitas. So he had a pretty strong start as a quarterback when he was just a youngster. Wally there in the dark blue coat talking to 84 Larry Rout, his tight end. And Wally's calling the plays tonight, Tim, something he doesn't always do.
That's something that he started doing the last couple of weeks. He's got a great offensive coordinator, Garth Hall, who is an interesting person of himself, a PhD in administration. And I know that Tulane's got to be disappointed with all these miscues they've had early.
7 total penalties in the game. Handoff doesn't get anything. That's Kelvin Robinson, the fullback. He's down at the 5. Clock is going to tick down to double zeros, and that'll be the last play of the first quarter. And this LSU defensive unit looking like the LSU defense of '82 and of past years. They've hemmed in Tulane at the Tulane 5-yard line. We'll be back in just a moment.
The who?
The tax people.
Oh, today. Oh, all right. Call the accountant.
Running your own business, you need all the help you can get. That's why you've got the Rainbow, the new personal computer from Digital with 2 separate microprocessors, one for today's jobs and another for tomorrow's. It's like getting 2 computers for the price of one.
Oh, hi. We've been waiting for you.
The Rainbow from Digital Equipment Corporation. Call 1-800-DIGITAL for the store nearest you.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
In a high-performance fighter, we go from the griddle to more than 20 degrees below in just seconds. Well, here's an all-weather fighter for your car. The new Delco Freedom Dura Power Battery. Hot or cold, it's got the starting power you can depend on. With a Freedom battery, you never need to add a drop of water.
Get a Delco Freedom battery starting at $39.95 for a 40 series. Call 800-AC-DELCO.
Rely on television's most complete news team, CNN and CNN Headline News. With CNN, you see news as it happens, wherever it happens. And because news is CNN's programming, your news never takes second place to other scheduled shows. Now, with CNN Headline News, you get the news know-how of CNN in a concise 30-minute package. Whenever you want news, day or night, CNN Headline News is ready to bring it to you. CNN and CNN Headline News, the complete news team from Turner Broadcasting System. They've waited 61 years to play this game during the regular season. So get ready for a blockbuster rivalry between two top-ranked teams when Louisville collides with Kentucky. Kentucky's phenomenal Sam Bowie is back from a 2-year layoff, and he'll team up with massive Melvin Turpin. But Louisville returns with their two leading scorers from last year, Milt Wagner and Lancaster Flash Gordon. It all begins Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern with a special college basketball preview, followed by Louisville, Kentucky, 8:30 Eastern on Superstation WTBS.
The second quarter of tonight's game brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By Coors. Now the best of the Rockies is yours from the Adolph Coors Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Valvoline, your symbol of protection. At the Superdome, Tulane backed into their own end zone. Jim Barkey will have to punt from there. There's the end zone view. Scoreless game, opening play of quarter number 2. It's a short punt. It takes a Tulane bounce, however, all the way out to the 49-yard line. A 44-yard punt by Jim Barkey. It was not a work of art, but he got it out of bounds, and there was no return allowed by LSU. But now the Tigers have the ball. Excellent field position at the Tulane 49. Number 40 is Fontenot, who goes up to the top of your screen. Former running back converted to receiver. At the bottom of your screen, number 41, Eric Martin, also a former running back, converted to receiver.
Two of the best blocking wide receivers that I've seen. Both of them throw their body around.
And they're both pretty good-sized guys. Good targets for Wickersham. Martin's 205, Fontenot 205. Both of them about 6'1". Hand off to the fullback. He drives to the 45. That's Gene Lang. Trey Sonji with the tackle. Make it the 45.5-yard line, where his forward progress stopped.
A couple of Louisiana Bells enjoying the football game. Now, there comes a point, we've seen a lot of checking off, and you're seeing more and more of it in college football, and there comes a point where it creates more confusion than it does good. Sometimes it might be, you might be just as well off with a young quarterback to let him get a bad matchup once in a while.
LSU in a slot left formation. Both receivers over to the left of that man, Jeff Wickersham. He hands it to Dalton Hilliard, spinning, twisting, all the way to the 25-yard line. First down, LSU. Number 41, David Jackson with a stop for the Green Wave of Tulane.
Jerry Stovall has been left with one of these people throughout most of the year. Both been battling injuries. That's what makes this young man a great back. Look at those feet going all the time, body spinning, still creating that forward torque.
Hilliard was SEC Freshman of the Year. He had 901 yards last year. That's a couple this year on the first down carry. Vic Perez makes a stop. This year, Dalton Hilliard has not played as well. He has been injured, as Tim told you a moment ago. But coming into this game, the final game of the year for LSU, Hilliard has only 629 yards. It'll be second down about 9. Opening moments of the second quarter from the Superdome in New Orleans. Here comes Dalton Hilliard, running room. Penalty marker is down. Hilliard gets to the 29-yard line. He was tripped up by Gene Harris.
Boy, Gene Lang does a nice job of putting people on the ground. He's their fullback. Real leader for him on offense, too. Although he doesn't carry the ball very often, he makes his presence known. Jerry Stovall, all SEC 2 years as a player, second in the Heisman voting, as you mentioned earlier. Fine player. I think he's hurt a little bit by the loss of Mac Brown. He was his offensive coordinator last year, called most of his plays. He's now the head coach at Appalachian State. His brother Watson just got a big job at Rice.
Watson, who left Vanderbilt to go to Cincinnati and now on his way to Rice, only 33 years old. Second down, 19, LSU from the 44 of Tulane. Wickersham to the air. That's Hilliard, can't hold on, great coverage by number 27, Kurt Bayham, the junior free safety from Folsom, Louisiana. These two teams are pumped up and fired up. Of course, they call this the Pride of Louisiana Bowl. Whether they're undefeated or winless, it doesn't matter.
They had an 18-yard completion on the prior time they ran this play. This time, Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator for Tulane, decides to go to man-to-man coverage, puts Bayham on Hilliard, and he breaks it up.
Third down, 19 Tigers. They're at the 44 of Tulane. Coming into your picture there, number 82, Doral. Batted up and down at the 48-yard line. I think it was number 80, Clinton Wenzel, 6'4", who batted the ball down. Number 8, Kevin Tate was in the area, and as also was Eddie Neal. Whatever the situation, the pass was batted down, and the Tigers will have to punt again. This will be punt number 4 on the evening for Clay Parker. Who would have expected a defensive battle?
Give a lot of credit to Tulane's defense. They're playing excellent football. They're taking some chances, but they're making the chances pay off early.
Good snap. And very high. It'll come into the picture. There it comes. Gets a Tulane bounce. Oh, it's a beauty. Look at that ball roll. Actually, I should say gets an LSU bounce deep into LSU territory. That's where Tulane territory, and that's where Tulane. I'll get it right in a moment. That's the LSU guy there. We'll be right back.
Coors to you, the clean of it. Coors to you, the fresh of it. Coors to you, the best of it. The best of the Rockies is yours.
The clean of the Rockies, the fresh of the Rockies. Brewed the Coors way, natural and pure.
Coors to you, the clean of it. All night through, the fresh of it. Rocky Mountain Gold, you got it. The best of the Rockies is yours.
Radio Shack believes a computer for your family is an important investment. That's why you owe it to them to see the sale price color computer too. Widely used in schools and homes, it's expandable with quality peripherals and supported by a vast library of software for education, home management, communications, and games. The Color Computer 2 at $80 off is backed by our national service and training. Only at Radio Shack, your electronics store for over 60 years.
Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time from Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky. Skip Carey and Joe Dean will have Louisville, Kentucky basketball. They haven't met in the regular season since 1922 here on the Superstation Saturday night. 12:34 to go, third quarter from the Superdome. First down 10. Tulane, the ball at their own 9-yard line. Single setback is 38 Elton Fields. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in the game for the Green Wave. Elmore going long, looking for Smith. Incomplete at the 43-yard line. Eugene Daniel almost intercepted. LSU players are calling for interference, but there is no penalty marker down.
Trying to balance out the LSU defense with these 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers, trying to get them into a 2-deep zone, which would create a better possibility for Elmore to fire it down the field. Daniel does an excellent job playing the ball here and almost pass interference on the offensive player, Wayne Smith.
Second down, 10 Tulane, once again from their own 9-yard line. Scoreless game, 12:27 to go, quarter number 2. Once again, a single setback. It's Fields. He gets the handoff. Out across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Let's go to the sideline now to Craig Sager, who's talking to one of the 4 quarterbacks for Tulane this year, the son of head coach Wally English, John, who had been declared ineligible to play by the courts.
Thank you, Bob. Looking out here, quarterback problems looks like for Tulane at the beginning. Kind of frustrating or nervous?
Well, I think that I was really, myself, I was nervous, and I think that Mark was nervous his first game that he's ever started. And the last time he played was against Jeff Wickersham in high school in the state championship. So I think he was a little nervous.
Thank you.
Elmore, pump fake in trouble! Incomplete out at the 20-yard line. Wayne Smith trying to come back. Just for a moment, it looked like Elmore might be hit in the end zone. Oh, my. It'll bring up 4th down, and Tulane will punt the ball away.
Tulane has been in a tough spot the whole first quarter and all of this second quarter here. It looks like a screen is set up. That's kind of a back pedal that you'll see off the screen. Fortunately, Elmore had enough sense to flip it down the field. You'd like to get a little bit more on the ball if you're going to throw it away.
Here's Barkey. He punted out of his end zone last time. Good save. And a great punt. Ellington at his 35. Going to be a clip on the play. Ellington down at the 43-yard line. At least 1 clip, maybe 2. 51-yard punt. Good job by Jim Barkey. Tulane was deep in a hole down there, and now LSU is going to be backed up probably down inside their 30-yard line after this probable penalty against them.
That's a big switch in field position. You just heard from John English on the sideline with Craig Sager. And of course, John English was a young man who gained a lot of publicity and a certain amount of notoriety from his Gulliver travels.
There you saw
see
the clip.
And
stereo too.
Yeah, John started at, he wanted to be a pro quarterback. His father knew that. He started under Darrell Rogers at Michigan State, and Darrell left, and they went to the Wishbone there, then went to Iowa State. And Iowa State went to a running offense. He just wanted to plug up Manchin with an offense that's going to throw the ball, and he ended up here with his dad.
Played pretty well, too, while he was in there for 4 games for Tulane. Here's a pitch to Gary James for LSU. James goes down at the 25. Clinton Wenzel, number 80, with the tackle for the Green Wave. And one more. We're not going to talk about John English all night, but he's been such national news all year with the court case. His dad says that he definitely wants to play professional football. There's the time left in the first half. And we'll have to wait until the USFL draft coming up before too long, just a couple of months away, to decide whether to sign with the USFL team to see how he is regarded by the pro scouts and then possibly even play in the National Football League. LSU second down 8 from their own 25-yard line. That's Gary James in motion. Gary James with the reception for the first down. He's out to the 37, tackled by 22, Donald Ray Thomas.
Man-to-man coverage by Burnell Dent on Gary James. Awfully tough to cover a back coming out of the backfield, especially for a big guy like Burnell Dent. He's close, but he made it move in front after the ball went by him. That enabled James to gain a few more yards.
LSU cheerleaders. It's not really a home or an away game when you play here at the Superdome. That's James again at the 41-yard line, not much more. This is technically Tulane's home game as they play their home team. The games here, they are located, Tulane University, here in New Orleans. Tulane University, a private university of about 11,000 students. There's Wally English. And LSU, of course, in Baton Rouge, a large state university, 29,000 students on their campus.
It's one of Wally's sons to his right, Dr. Shul Jones, administrative assistant to his left.
Here's James. He just doesn't find any running room at all. Only a yard at most. Congested offensive line, and that's been happening all year to LSU.
Well, Cormier made good penetration on that play and then threw his body down to the inside, throwing off the pulling guard there, Fordham. the play never had a chance to develop. I don't care how good a running back you are. You've got to have some people up there working together and giving you some room, at least giving you a crack. Tulane's defense doing an exceptional job up front so far.
This is 3rd down 8, passing situation. 5 defensive backs in for Tulane. Fontenot, number 40, came in motion. Incomplete. He was looking for the freshman, Craig Rathjen. David Jackson covering. It'll be 4th down, and once again, it'll be punting situation for Parker. Let's go down to the sideline to Craig Sager.
Thank you, Bob. John, what about your plans as far as quarterbacking in the future?
I wish I could play on WTBS all the time. I have great games. It seems like, I don't know, hopefully somebody will give me a tryout, and I'm keeping in shape and working out every day. I run the scout team, and just do the best I can if somebody approaches me.
Back to Bob.
Thank you, Craig. There's young John English, very composed and poised young man. Punt comes down to Kirk Bayham, and Bayham is hit in his tracks at the 20. Tackle was made by Tony Nephew, number 52 for LSU. 9:05 to go in the second quarter. It's a scoreless game in New Orleans.
It'll never work.
We're testing whether Tegrin shampoo can keep baseball star Jim Palmer's dandruff under control for 3 days. Tegrin Shake, Day 1.
Looking good so far.
Tegrin Shake, Day 2.
Tegrin's still working, but the game's not over.
Yeah.
Tegrin Shake, Day 3.
Incredible. Tegrin did it.
All right, yeah, it works.
From now on, I'm trusting Tegrin.
Try Tegrin. It works on dandruff.
Really works.
Between shampoos.
Panasonic invites you to step ahead of your time to a Panasonic video camera that focuses automatically and adjusts to light, even low light, to a stereo video recorder that records from TV or from life with 4-head technology for jitter-free effects from slow motion to stop motion. Step ahead of your time to a Panasonic Omnivision video system, more than just slightly ahead of our time.
The NCAA Volunteers for Youth, established through NCAA colleges, provides a unique community service to local junior high school age youths having problems at school or at home. VFY is providing a better opportunity for young people at over 50 NCAA colleges through one-to-one relationships with concerned student athletes, offering a positive influence. The preceding message provided by the NCAA. Here's our situation. 9:05 to go, second quarter. It'll be Tulane ball, 1st down 10, at their own 20-yard line. Scoreless football game. Not much offense from either team so far. Lone setback is Fields. Wade Elmore continues to quarterback. He relieved the starter, Mark Massey. Looking for Wayne Smith, but they have him covered all night so far. It was Daniel, the primary coverage man for LSU. And, excuse me, check that. Robert Griffin is the intended receiver, number 83. But the point is the same. Both these receivers have been covered very well.
Out of that formation, it's a mirror formation, a tight end and a flanker to both sides. The quarterback usually runs a check with me offense. He will call the play at the line of scrimmage because the defense has to make a decision as far as which side they determine to be the strong side.
Tulane quarterbacks 2 out of 11 throwing the ball. Here comes everybody. It's incomplete, but you see there's a penalty marker down. You see the dimension that Wade Elmore adds. He was under intense pressure from the outside. Number 94 Brooks was back there, and he can get out of there and at least throw the ball. Nevertheless, there's a penalty on the play.
Might be illegal receiver downfield. I noticed Jim Boyle.
That was the call, Tim.
They're getting good pressure up the middle from Fritchie. Protection breaks down, and Elmore scrambles out of there, does a nice job getting rid of the football.
There's the green
vicious
waste.
Ride those Tigers.
You want to know why this tradition has been going on since 1893, and everybody, they call this a nasty rivalry. They start them young. That youngster doesn't have much regard for Tigers. 3rd down 15 from the 16-yard line, Tulane ball. Elmore. It's caught by Ralph, the tight end, at the a penalty marker down also. Larry Rout, the freshman tight end, former wide receiver. John Pritchie, the linebacker, trying to cover it. 39-yard pass completion. I think the penalty is going to go against LSU, I believe, Tim.
Linebackers usually aren't in a position where they get used to coming back for the football. Found himself in an unfamiliar situation, and Rout came back and made the catch.
Looked like he stepped out of bounds before the reception, but they're giving them the reception at the 44.
That time LSU was double covering the wide receiver. Elmore pumped the wide receiver and threw it to Rout, who had run a sideline and up pattern.
.41 to go, and Tulane in the second quarter, and Tulane driving now. The 44 of the Tigers. That's Wayne Smith in motion. Feels the handoff. Big fullback drives inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Ball came out after the whistle was blown. Burks and Daniel on the tackle for LSU.
There's Duriel Harris's dad. He's an assistant coach with the Tulane Green Wave, coaches the receivers. Out of your picture now. John English accomplished quite a bit here at Tulane in 1 year. Certainly, Wally English, excuse me, certainly brought him a lot of national publicity. They've been on TV more this year than they have been in a long time.
Second down, 4. Fields hit in the backfield, thrown for loss at the 42-yard line. Good penetration by freshman Mike Brooks, who's doing a fine job tonight. Mike Brooks, 94, and remember, he's replacing Riddell Melanson, the fine team leader and right outside linebacker who broke his right forearm versus Mississippi State. So big responsibilities on Brooks, and he is responding well.
They've got 4 outside linebackers that play, Bob, as you know, DeBrock, Brooks, Lewis, and Bromley, and they're all good athletes.
Third down, 7 from the 41. Tulane is only 1 out of 5 on third down conversions. Penalty marker down. The 25-second clock elapsed, I believe. You see the problem when you don't have a leader at the quarterback position. This man, Jerry Stovall, has a leader, a young sophomore by the name of Jeff Wickersham. But LSU's played through 4 quarterbacks this year, or Tulane has, and has had problems with it.
They're not getting to the line of scrimmage with enough time to make any changes. That time it appeared as though LSU was coming with the kitchen sink. Elmore tried to get out of what he had called, but he didn't have enough time to do it. They need to get out of the huddle faster.
Third down, 12 from the 46 now. Tulane has to go to the 34 of LSU for the first down. Elmore. He's losing a lot of yards. Gets a good block. Throws on the run. It's complete at the 40, short of the first down by about 6 yards. Larry Rout, the receiver. Elmore ran back about 25 yards behind the initial line of scrimmage, and watch for 45 Freddie Lewis with the pressure.
This is your old give them their money's worth play. Freddie Lewis in hot pursuit of Wade Elmore. Here comes Sean Burks. Coming back around the other way, and boom, Mackey picks somebody off and finally throws to Rout for a 4-yard gain.
Here's Jim Barkey into punt again. This will be Barkey's 4th punt of the night. He's averaging 47 on the night. He's done a good job. He'll try to get this down somewhere inside the 20. Scoreless game, 5:58 to go, second quarter. Very high. It is going to come down inside the 10. Penalty marker is down. 2 penalty markers are down. Charles Dunn, number 51, is the man who was the ball there. Only a 29-yard punt, but once again, Barkey just wanted to get that ball down inside the 20 someplace. A committee meeting there of the hierarchy of officiating.
Tommy Rose in making the snap on those punts. Atlanta youngster. Used to watch him play high school football, didn't you, Bob?
As a matter of fact, I did in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the penalty. We'll tell you exactly what it is when we return.
An idea begins. The ultimate microwave cookware system. Form follows function, and beyond. To durability, to versatility, with a limited number of pieces performing an infinite number of tasks. The ultimate microwave cookware system is from Rubbermaid. Quite understandably, nothing else stacks up to it.
Richard Petty moves to the inside and heads for turn 3. 2 cars in trouble. A spin. Richard is boxed in with nowhere to go. Oh, Petty gets hit hard.
Now that was a headache. That was a Goodies headache. You got that right. You know, I've been using Goodies headache powders for years. For one simple reason. Goodies gets rid of the pain fast. So the next time you run into a headache, or one runs into you, get yourself a Goodies. They sure work for me.
The call was interference with a fair catch, and they moved the ball out to the 26-yard line, where it will be LSU ball. First down 10. The view from the Tiger bench at the Superdome. Fontenot, number 40, up to the top of your screen. Down to the bottom, Eric Martin, number 41. It's Dalton Hilliard and Gene Lang in the backfield. Wickersham, quick toss, Hilliard. Hilliard to the 35-yard line. Close to the first down, tackled by 41 David Jackson.
Nice read by Jeff Wickersham. Had Martin on a short slant in. Just look at the linebacker. If the linebacker drops to take away the slant, dump it to the back in the flat right away. That's what he did. Successful first down play for LSU.
There's Martin to the top of your screen. In the ballgame at the flanker position is Junius Doral, 82 now. They hand it off to Dalton Hilliard. Tailback, nothing going by Hilliard. Good, tough inside play by Tulane. Burnell Dent there. It was Cox, Perez, Wenzel, Dent, Jackson just plugging it up. Later tonight, we'll be selecting a most valuable player from each of tonight's schools. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. Both players will receive a Chevrolet MVP certificate acknowledging their outstanding efforts on the field tonight. This is third down 1. It's going to be close. It is a first down, as you see the signal from the referee, Paul Schmidt.
Tulane is doing an excellent job up front. They, at this point in the football game, are controlling the line of scrimmage, something that kind of surprises me.
First down from the 37 for the Tigers. Wickersham, 4 out of 9 for 53 yards, 5 out of 10 now. And down goes Earl Curtis, the second team tight end. A junior from Lafayette, Louisiana. Number 81, Melvin Cormier with the tackle.
That's the same play that they just run back into the short side of the field. This time the combination was between the flanker and the tight end. Flanker being covered, he dropped it to the tight end.
4:21 to go in the second quarter. Second down, 7 Tigers. Pitch to Hilliard. Gets a sweep going. Cuts against the grain and fumbles the ball. It's fallen on by LSU. And they're going to say the fumble does not count anyway. He was tackled just after achieving a first down. Ball popped out when he hit the ground, meaning it was no fumble. It'll remain in the possession of the Tigers. First down at the 48-yard line.
This is a good-looking play. They bring Lang in motion from the weak side to the strong side. They're outnumbering Tulane at that point. And I'm sure that you're going to see that play called more frequently unless Tulane makes an adjustment.
Another first down for the Tigers. 2 receivers to the right side of the line of scrimmage, 1 to the left. Wickersham. It's complete, wide open, Eric Martin. Martin to the 34-yard line of Tulane. Kurt Bayham with the tackle. Eric Martin came into this game with 49 receptions. That's his first of this night. It was good for 18 yards.
good play selection by LSU. They've thrown the ball on first down through this entire drive. They've got those linebackers. Tulane's got those linebackers sticking their nose up in there, and this is the way they're going to get them to get a little bit more space, get them off the line of scrimmage, throw the ball over their head.
First down, 10 Tigers at the 34 of Tulane. Scoreless game, second quarter. Draw play, Lang to the 29-yard line. Goes the fullback, tackled by Jackson. This is the deepest penetration of the game by LSU. Scoreless thus far with 3:07 to go in the first half, and this is not something I would have figured would have happened in this game.
I don't think any of us anticipated this. Look for Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator for Tulane, to come after him on this play. Likes the blitz.
Wickersham 6 out of 12 for 75 yards now. Pitches to Hilliard. Good coverage. Hilliard fumbles again. After he was down, however, at the 30. Man with the ball was 54, Harvey Cox for Tulane. Bayham has it in his hands now, 27, but it was after the whistle. Hilliard having trouble holding on to the ball. He fumbled his first carry tonight.
This is the same play we talked about earlier. This time they start Lang on the strong side, bring it back in motion to the weak side, turn him around, and that's 3 fumbles for Hilliard. He's putting the ball on the ground. I'm sure Jerry's going to have a little bit of a talk with him. There's great penetration by Tulane to keep that play from getting rolling.
LSU 2 out of 7 on third down conversions. This is 3rd and 7 from the 30. Wickersham incomplete. Intended for Lang, 25. Wickersham took a real shot when he released the ball. And now we're going to have a field goal attempt by Juan Betanzos, the 5'7" junior from Mexico City, Mexico. Betanzos is 12 out of 16 kicking field goals this year, is the team's leading scorer. As you can see, he has 59 points. Betanzos was born in Mexico City, played his high school football and soccer at St. Stanislaus High School in St. Louis, Missouri. 46-yard field goal attempt. It's perfect. The Tigers have drawn first blood. 1:56 to go in the second quarter. 3-0 LSU.
The sun brings out all kinds of people, and they all want a beer that won't slow them down.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, turn it loose tonight. Beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
You're one of a kind.
Not one of the crowd.
You want to be the best.
Different from your rest.
So take a break from the 8 to 5.
Got to drive
in the Air Force Reserve. So take a break today.
and we pay the way.
Well, you have to say.
We like it that way.
There's a future for you in the Air Force Reserve right now.
Great sports coverage continues tomorrow night. The Hawks in first place in the NBA Central Division go to Boston Garden, 7:35 Eastern Time. Then Saturday night, the Battle of the Bluegrass, Louisville, Kentucky. Skip Carey and Joe Dean will have that for you, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Then on Sunday night, yours truly and Tim Foley in Richmond, Kentucky for the Eastern Kentucky Colonels hosting Boston University in first-round action, Division I AA playoffs. That will be an exciting football game, folks. Both of those teams can play. There's Jones, the deep receiver, number 42. Betanzos with the kickoff on the ground. He's going to go to the man out of the right wing. That is Kurt Bayham, number 27. He goes down at the 29-yard line. There, Tulane will take over, trailing for the first time tonight, 3-0 with 1:50 to go in the first half. Started with Mark Massey at quarterback for the Green Wave, and Massey just couldn't get anything going, and they pulled him out. And when he was 2 for 8 for 20 yards and 2 interceptions, Elmore hasn't done much better in terms, as you look at the scoring drive, in terms of completions, 2 out of 5 for 45 yards.
they really haven't been able to establish any consistency on offense to this point.
2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, single setback is 38 Elton Veals. It's complete out to the 34-yard line. Larry Rout, the freshman tight end with the reception. Eugene Daniel with the tackle. Larry Rout's a good player. He's a freshman from Covington, former wide receiver. Coming up at halftime, we'll have sideline interviews with Craig Sager, Chevrolet's sponsored Making of an All-American, CNN headline news update, special report from Paul Ryden on that Louisville, Kentucky basketball game, the LSU band performance, and the halftime highlights brought to you by Actrix. On 2nd down 5 from the 34. Incomplete. Intended for Smith, covered by Clark.
They may have some room on that pattern to the wide side of the field. I think that at that time Elmore could have stuck it in there if he'd thrown a little bit lower. Now they're going to throw a flag
on Smith.
Yeah, it looks like Wayne Smith thought he was interfered with on that play and protested a little bit too vehemently.
He has no receptions tonight, and coming into the game, Smith was the team's leading receiver in touchdowns and receptions. That's it, unsportsmanlike conduct, almost certainly on Smith. He has been covered very closely and obviously lost his poise there and said something to the official, and that'll draw you a big one very quickly. Now, 80 yards and penalties. That's the 10th penalty of this game in the first half against Tulane.
Football is a little different than most sports. I'm sure that nobody in the stands was offended by what Wayne Smith might have said to the official, and most officials I know that have been around for a while just kind of close their ears. They realize that it's an emotional game and they get excited sometime, and when sometimes a player loses his composure like Smith must have done, they just kind of let it go.
On a 3rd and 20 from the 19, it's a draw play to Elton Veals. Veals drives to the 30 and no further. It'll bring up 4th down 9 in a punting situation, and in will come Jim Barkey again for the Tulane Green Wave with 1:03 to go first half. LSU leading 3-0 on the 46-yard field goal. And there's a timeout on the field, and it's charged to the LSU Tigers. LSU hoping to get something going here. They have 1 minute 3 seconds, and LSU has 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining, so I'm sure Jerry Stovall will want to try to get back down in position for at least another field goal attempt. This telecast authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game in whole or in part without the express written consent of the NCAA and WTVS-TV is prohibited. The announcers for the event are employed by the Turner Broadcasting System, Incorporated.
Have you ever tried to do that with just one breath?
Yes, I have, but you may recall that was the day I passed out. Our spotter, Kim Anderson, is trained in paramedics, fortunately. There's Barkey. Barkey's coming in here for his 5th punt of the night, averaging 42.5, and Eric Ellington, a freshman, is back deep to take the punt reception at about his own 35. Another good job by Barkey. Ellington's going to take it at the 30. Good coverage by Tulane. Ellington used his head, cut it back upfield, got about 6 or 7 yards out to the 37-yard line. 40-yard punt by Barkey. LSU has 52 seconds and 2 timeouts now to try to drive the ball from their 37 down to some kind of scoring range. I do see way back downfield a yellow penalty marker once again. And as we've said in some of these games we've had this year of college football, it's flag football tonight. Personal foul against LSU. Against Tulane, correction.
Cobley making the decision there. Now that's something that could be costly. They decline it. Just before the punt. We've been talking a lot about line play. We've been joined in the booth tonight by Chrissy Mock. It's hard to believe that that cute girl is the daughter of Carl Mock, who played in the NFL for 13 years. Probably the worst feat of anybody that played in the NFL for 13 years.
Carl is probably headed to the booth right now. Remember, that was Tim who said that, Carl.
But the biggest heart, that's for sure.
And a good friend of Tim Foley's.
First down 10. It's complete to Lang. Lang got the first down to the 49-yard line. That'll stop the clock. Burnell Dent with a tackle. Clock down to 42 seconds now. So LSU will be in their 2-minute offense. And this is something they do very well. Wickersham's an excellent passer. He has great receivers out of the backfield and at the wideout positions. It's picked off. Bam with the ball. Down to the 45-yard line of LSU. Just as we were telling you how effective Wickersham is, Bayham sure turned that around in a hurry. 29 seconds remaining in the half, and Jerry Stovall is saying right now, well, gosh darn it.
Wickersham taking the ball. He's going to Martin the whole way here. Martin had broke in over the middle, then going back to the corner. The ball was just in the air too early. Martin didn't have time to locate the football, and Bayham was staring at it all the way into his chest.
So now with 3 timeouts left, Tulane has penetrated LSU territory after that 24-yard interception return. And that's completed to 31 to number 83, Robert Griffin. Griffin's second catch of the night. That's a first down. That'll stop the clock with 21 seconds left in the half. And we're getting down close to Tony Wood field goal range. Tony Wood, the place kicker for Tulane, is perfect on any attempt inside 47 yards. And you always add 17 yards to the line of scrimmage to know the field goal distance. This ball at the 30, so you're in his range. There's Wally English calling him over right now, explaining exactly what they want to try to do these remaining 21 seconds.
That's Rick Gailey on the right of your screen. Vic King, the headsets on the left of your screen. Looks like Garth Hall down out of the booth standing next to Wally English. That's unusual.
So 21 seconds remain in the half. It'll be first down 10. Tulane, they trail 3-0 on a 46-yard field goal by LSU's field goal kicker, Juan Betanzos. Now they want to give Tony Wood the opportunity here, or even better, of course, Tulane would like to get it into the end zone. 5 defensive backs in there for LSU, as they know Wade Elmore will probably be going to the air. Nobody there. He just threw that one away. Good pressure by Mike Brooks again, number 94 for LSU.
Sometimes a quarterback will find himself in a situation where he wants to make the big play so badly, he'll try to stick it in between a couple of defenders, make an unwise decision. That time Elmore saw no one open and lofted it over everyone's head.
15 seconds remaining in the half now. Second down 10. Elmore, as you saw, under a great deal of pressure. Number 45, Freddie Lewis. These linebackers, the outside pass rushers, have been very effective getting penetration on the Tulane quarterbacks tonight. So it'll bring up third down 10 with 10 seconds remaining. We may get to see Tony Wood try one of these 47-yard field goals. There'll be one more offensive play first. Into the game, 44 is Laren Ambrose.
That's interesting, Bob, because he's not really one of their best receivers. He's got a lot of speed and a good runner. Let's see if they use him in a running capacity as opposed to trying to get him open as a wide receiver.
He is the single setback. Laren Ambrose goes out to a wing, as a matter of fact. On the left side, the single setback is Elton Fields. And now timeout has been called for Tulane. They looked over that defensive alignment. This is when you get down to the coaching situation. There, the shorter fellow in the picture is Garth Hall, the offensive coordinator, Tim, that you were mentioning before, right in the center of that little huddle.
He's been an offensive coordinator for 16 years. Started out at Utah State, went to Wake Forest, spent 8 years at Brigham Young. Came here this year with Wally English, coordinate that offense for English.
And a very innovative
offensive coordinator. I understand he's very close to these players. You see Wade Elmore and Wayne Smith. Wade Elmore, number 1, Smith, number 3, and there's Elton Beals, 38, Savini, 89, all the skill players as they're trying to decide what they're going to do on this 3rd down 10 from the 30 of LSU. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. LSU leading by a score of 3-0. They've decided. Let's see now if the football players can execute. It is out of the hands of the Brain Trust.
Regardless of what they decide, these are the folks in the green jerseys that have to make it work.
2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 setback. It's Fields. Elmore going long, has a man in the end zone. Penalty marker. Eugene Daniel covering Wayne Smith. Smith caught the ball, and a penalty marker was thrown in the end zone.
Smith is the guy with remarkable concentration. Made an unbelievable catch against FSU that Bobby Bowden will never forget, that won the game for Tulane. When they get in close, they like to throw it up in the air to him because he has exceptional leaping ability also.
4 seconds remains in this half, and I think they're going to put the ball on the 1-yard line. Interference against LSU. It'll be first down at the 1-yard line. A 29-yard penalty. Let's watch it again. 3 is Wayne Smith.
There's Eugene Daniel chasing. He's got help deep. He's in good position, head back, looking for the football. You know me, Bob. I'm not much for interference. I didn't really see it there. It looked like he'd almost run himself out of bounds.
I concur with you, Tim. There was very little, if any, contact we could see from that particular camera angle. However, also very little argument from LSU. Tulane has now used their final timeout with 4 seconds remaining in the half.
We're going to see this again. I'm sure that Tulane is trying to make a decision whether to go for it. They've got a chance. They don't score an end zone to come touchdown to come away with nothing. See, Daniel does a nice job of getting his head around. I don't see the interference, but it's not important what I see.
Right. Nevertheless, it's at the 1-yard line. I would agree with you on that, Tim. We do have the benefit of these replays.
Sometimes they call face mask and face shielding, but he had his head around and his hand was going up in response to the football coming down. Let's see what happens.
Full house backfield. First down goal from the 4, but only 4 seconds. Handoff Ambrose. Touchdown Tulane as the clock ticks down to the final double zeros of the first half. Tulane takes the lead. Now the players are on the field. There will be a point after, a conversion attempt here. So the players would best get off the field or there will be a penalty and make this a difficult conversion situation. Even when time expires, of course, you go for the point after. The players wisely for Tulane very excitedly came onto the field but now have gone off. There is no penalty marker. Here's Tony Wood, who's perfect on the year on point afters, 2 out of 2. And here's a replay of the touchdown. Ambrose, 44.
A big gamble. This is all or nothing. If they don't get the touchdown, they come away with no points. An excellent job of coming up over the top by Hobley, Clifford Hobley, trying to keep him out, but Tulane gets the penetration and scores the touchdown.
Point after is good. And that was Ambrose's first touchdown of the year, and I'm sure he'll be glad to say it came in the LSU game. 7-3. Tulane takes the lead and the momentum. Let's go to Craig Sager on the sideline.
Thank you, Bob. Coach, you have to be happy going in with that touchdown.
Well, our quarterbacks have had a little difficulty getting the ball on the mark, but our defense has played exceptionally well. Our team's excited about it. We're looking forward to the second half.
How are you stopping that LSU offense?
Got to tackle those good running backs and put the pressure on the quarterback.
Wall English going to halftime with a 7-3 lead. Back to you, Bob.
And a smile on his face. We'll be back with our halftime activities right after this.
A Christmas gift from Radio Shack.
I was looking for a gift for the whole family, and I found this Radio Shack cordless phone on sale for $99.95. It has auto redial, a privacy button, and you just plug it in. We can make calls from almost anywhere, the kitchen, the bedroom, even out in the back porch. With no monthly telephone rental charges, we save. They'll never guess what I got them.
The cordless phone, on sale for $99.95. Only at Radio Shack.
Yeah, that sounds like a hit record. You know, if there's one thing we insist on, it's originality. In our music and in our clothes. And that's why we wear original members only. The fit and style fit our style. Hey, speaking of style,
You put it on, something happens to you.
and remember, it's not really members only unless it says so. Right here on the pocket. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
And now we're pleased once again to bring you another in our weekly series sponsored by Chevrolet, The Making of an All-American. Two of our TBS Chevrolet All-Americans play for the Texas Longhorns. Defensive back number 3, Mossy Cade, a senior from Eloy, Arizona. Mossy Cade has 6 interceptions. He is tied for the lead in the Southwest Conference. Playing in front of Cade is another All-American. He's at linebacker, the best for the Longhorns since Tommy Nobis, they say. He also wears number 60, 6'3", 230, Jeff Lighting.
Jeff Lighting falls into the category of being an All-American because he has the physical body to start out with. And then he adds to that the kind of intensity that it takes to play All-American football.
These two are the anchors of the #1 defensive team in the nation, the Texas Longhorns. Our TBS Chevrolet All-American at defensive back, Mossy Cade, at linebacker, Jeff Lighting. We'll be back with a special report from Paul Ryden on the Louisville, Kentucky basketball game right after this message from the NCAA and a news update from CNN.
Higher education today. People pursuing knowledge, discovering more about areas affecting our daily lives. The University of Connecticut offers an outstanding program in allied health professions. What attracts people to this field?
I feel physical therapy offers a unique opportunity to work with people on a one-to-one basis in a situation where they need help and you're able to deliver it.
Getting that feeling of satisfaction, knowing that, you know, what you learned in class, you can actually go out and apply to someone who needs your help.
The future of physical therapy is very broad. We can go towards cardiopulmonary development, we can go towards neurological development, we can go towards sports medicine, and we can go towards orthopedics. And because we have our hands in almost any portion of the medical field, it's just unlimited resources into which we can develop.
In terms of the students, one of the most challenging aspects is taking a student who has to be very strong in the basic sciences. They're taking some very difficult courses in math and chemistry and physics, human anatomy and physiology, but they also have to be very strong in the people-oriented aspect. They have to be able to work with people. Counseling is a big aspect, and it's hard to get students that have a balance between the two and are committed to helping people.
Higher education today. Challenging, motivating the mind. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
Soviet President Yuri Andropov says his country will build up its nuclear weapons in the Soviet Union, Eastern Europe, and off the coast of the U.S. in response to NATO deploying U.S. missiles in Europe. Andropov issued a statement on Radio Moscow adding that he would break off the Geneva talks on limiting medium-range missiles in Europe. Back in Washington, the White House said the Soviet buildup was expected and already underway and would have happened without U.S. missiles going into Europe. In the Middle East, a prisoner swap between the Israelis and Palestinians. The Israelis returned 4,500 PLO guerrillas and suspected terrorists in return for 6 of their own soldiers. In New York, the Macy's Day Parade kicked off Thanksgiving and the Christmas season as millions of Americans met friends and family for turkey and football. Don Lennox with a CNN News Brief.
Tulane and LSU is a natural rivalry. So is Kentucky and Louisville, but Kentucky and Louisville dislike each other so much, they haven't scheduled a regular season basketball game since 1922. However, the Kentucky State Legislature has intervened, and this Saturday night we'll have the long-awaited matchup. Paul Ryden went to Kentucky to see how this long wait has fanned the flames of this rivalry.
It's often been said by Southerners that the South will rise again. Most of us realize that the Civil War has been over for years and that we'll all live happily ever after together, North and South. But here in Kentucky, a border state, some 120 years ago, the Civil War rages on. Only this time, the battlefield is a basketball court.
I'm Glenn Walker, and I'm a University of Louisville fan.
I'm Randy Walker, and I'm a Kentucky Wildcat fan.
That's right, just like the Civil War, brother against brother, and their dwelling places give it away. Right there among the Smurf collection, Glenn has amassed a veritable cornucopia of Louisville memorabilia. While just a few feet down the hall, the room of Brother Randy is a Rhapsody in Blue, a heartfelt tribute to the Wildcats of Kentucky.
You'd have to take into consideration who has more NCAA titles, and blue blood is royal blood.
I've went to U of L's basketball camp for 4 years, and I've enjoyed it a lot, and I loved all the coaches. They've taught me a lot.
And not even visitors to the rest of the house are safe from exposure to this sibling rivalry, the bathroom being equally divided between Louisville Red and Kentucky Blue. Elsewhere, other families are torn asunder. A seemingly peaceful suburb of Louisville, right? Not behind closed doors.
We understand that you're not going to be able to go to the game.
Just because you didn't get a ticket.
If you've been a UK fan, we might have been able to get you a ticket.
You can't make me be a UK fan.
Ron Gary is not only a graduate, but a trustee of the University of Kentucky. His 12-year-old daughter, Wendy, though, pledges her allegiance to Louisville. What's a father to do?
I'm certainly proud to be a UK fan. I'm also from Louisville. I went to the University of Louisville School of Law, and so I'm kind of in the middle. And so I'm for the University of Louisville, except for when they play the University of Kentucky.
You see, in Kentucky, basketball is approached about as seriously as politics is in Washington, D.C. Everybody seems to have an opinion and a way to express it. And now that Louisville versus Kentucky is going to be an annual affair, it looks as though peace will be a long time in coming to the Bluegrass State. In Kentucky, I'm Paul Ryden, TBS Sports.
We're back at the Superdome. This is Mike the Tiger, who normally doesn't talk, but for national television, you will? What's wrong with the offense? Yeah, you still won't talk. LSU, not much offense right now. It's 7-3, Tulane at the half. On the field right now, the Oxford High School Marching Band from Oxford, Alabama. 169 members. The drum major's Melinda Haynes. And coming up next, getting ready to take the field, the Golden Band from Tigerland, the Louisiana State University Tiger Marching Band with the Golden Girls and the Tigerettes. 270 members under the direction of Frank Wicks and David Morris. David Gressens is the drum major. And here's the Golden Band from Tigerland.
We'll be back with more halftime activities right after this commercial message.
Chevy Truck is taking charge. Compare S10 Maxi Cab to Datsun King Cab, and you'll see Chevy S10 has Maxi Room, 50% more rear load space, Maxi Payload, more payload than King Cab,
Maxi Power!
optional V6 muscle the imports don't have,
Maxi Towing!
3,000 pounds more than the imports. Maximize your truck value. Chevy S10 Maxi Cab. Chevy Truck is taking charge.
We just had to find a cheaper way to heat and cool our home. Then we heard about a system that uses a special pipe developed by Phillips Petroleum that circulates water below ground. The earth warms the water in the winter and cools it in the summer, so the system's heat pump works less. And our energy costs are cut up to 50%. Now, I don't have to buy gasoline at Phillips 66, but I do, because some of their ideas strike pretty close to home.
Fine products for you and your car from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Next, highlights from the first half of tonight's game right after this message from the NCAA.
Gymnastics is one of 16 women's sports in which the NCAA conducts national championships. The championship program provides many talented gymnasts with the opportunity to compete at the highest level while continuing their education. Become part of a growing tradition next time a college in your area hosts a competition. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
Tonight's halftime highlights are brought to you by Actrix, the whole computer system in one little box. Well, the first half was filled with turnovers and penalties. It was turnovers and penalties that led to this 46-yard field goal by Juan Betanzos from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi for LSU, 3-0 Tigers. Here's an interception coming off the arm of Jeff Wickersham, number 27, Kurt Bayham for Tulane. There were 2 turnovers for each team in the first half. There were also 15 total penalties in the first half of play. Game that you couldn't call flag football. Here's one of the penalties coming up now. Wade Elmore is going deep into the LSU end zone looking for his receiver, Wayne Smith. 35, Eugene Daniels, called for pass interference here. This led to a 1-yard Tulane touchdown. Watch for number 44, Laren Ambrose. Conversion was good. And at halftime, Tulane leads by a score of 7-3. And they go off the field with some momentum when they went out. They'll be coming back out here in just a moment. To be blunt about it, Tim Foley, not a very attractive football game in the first half.
No, it wasn't. And that's a way you can look at it from an offensive point of view. Tulane has had a lot of problems getting any consistency at all. They started out with Mark Massey, and he had some trouble, came with Wade Elmore, and Wade had a little bit more success, but the Tulane defense has been playing exceptionally well. Now, you could say that LSU offense isn't doing very much, but up front, Tulane is playing exceptional defense.
Well, in the second half, they're expecting this game to have a lot of points scored, something like maybe a total of 45 or 50 points, some kind of final score like that with that kind of total of points. They're going to have to do a lot of scoring in the second half. We'll find out when we come back. Right now, the band entertaining at halftime. This is LSU Tulane. They call it the Pride of the Southland Bowl, so you can expect a lot of activities on the part of the fans and the players in the second half. We'll be back in a moment to the Superdome in New Orleans after these messages.
personal computers have created a shocking new problem. Where do you put all this stuff? Computers, disk drives, modems, software, printers.
Pop! Carl, are you in there?
Now, all this stuff
Pop!
is here in Actrix, a complete computer system, including software and printer.
Hello?
That you can take
It's for you.
anywhere. Actrix, a whole computer system in one little box.
This is the French House at Louisiana State University. Inside is the Grand Salon, a French-style cafe, National Phi Kappa Phi headquarters, and the LSU Press. Long known for its scholarly publications, the LSU Press boasts the 1981 Pulitzer Prize winner, A Confederacy of Dunces, and is now on its way to the 1984 World's Fair in New Orleans with 2 special offerings. The LSU Press, just one outstanding feature of one outstanding university.
Welcome to Tulane University in New Orleans, where more than 10,000 students come every year to learn from 900 faculty members and from each other. Since our founding in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana, we have grown to include 11 schools and colleges. Tulane has been ranked one of the 24 most highly selective private universities in the country, and we're among the top 30 in the money we spend on research each year. It's learning, it's research, it's teaching, it's serving the community. It's Tulane.
Well, a look at the halftime statistics concede that this was not a work of art in the first half of play. 9 first downs for LSU, only 5 for Tulane. Both teams about equal in rushing, both teams about equal in passing. But due to poor execution, I think more than good defense, although there were some excellent defensive plays. 2 turnovers for each team. And as you can see, a ton of penalties. 140 yards, 139 yards in penalties total there, and LSU had the ball a couple of minutes more than Tulane, but Tulane leads by a score of 7-3. So, Tim, with all of that in mind, and with the story of Jerry Stovall under pressure and rumors that he's going to be fired next week from his job, and Wally English with controversy over his son and disagreements and such, what might we expect in the second half? Do you think emotion could play a part in this game?
I think emotion has to play a part in this football game, especially for LSU. This will probably... There's just been too much talk about Jerry Stovall and about his job being in jeopardy. You know, if they don't get a new football coach, they certainly would have damaged his opportunity to recruit good athletes next year, because it doesn't appear that he has the support of the administration. But I've seen Jerry Stovall play. I've seen films of him as a college player. I've seen him play in person professionally. And he is a fighter. And if he's going to go down, he's going to go down swinging. He's going to try to get these kids as excited as he can get them. For the seniors on this LSU football team, and there are not a lot of them,
16.
They're going to try and do as well as they can for him. There's a lot of players on that football team that really admire Jerry Stovall.
Let's go down to the field, speaking of Jerry Stovall, to Craig Sager.
Jerry, not much offense. You got to get moving, but some points on the board.
Well, we're going to try very hard.
Emotional talk there in the halftime? What you tell
No, I've just been screaming and hollering off on the sideline.
Nothing in the locker room to get them pumped up the second half?
Well, we've talked in the locker room, yes, very definitely.
Maybe we'll see something.
Well, we hope.
Jerry Stovall's team down 7-3, back to Bob and Tim.
As I said, there are a lot of players on his team that really admire and respect Jerry Stovall and hate to see what he's been going through. And whoever, if Jerry Stovall is back as the head coach of LSU, or if someone else comes in as the head coach of LSU, they're going to have a bunch of talent. This guy is redshirted 21 freshmen. Some people that could have really helped him this year, he felt was better to redshirt him because it was better for the program in the long run. And he's still making those long-term types of decisions, which is really unselfish considering the situation he's in.
42 years old, Jerry Stovall. There's Wally English. Wally only 44 years old, young for head coaching positions in major college football. And Wally English, some wonder if he will be back as head coach at Tulane next year. Matter of fact, the newspaper was asking the question, will English sign his contract? Has Tulane committed to big-time football? What was the effect of his son John's suit on the relationship to Tulane? And what about pro football with John? All those questions going through the program in the mind of Wally English.
I think Wally is definitely listening. He certainly has a good relationship with the president of the university, Kelly. And He has been supportive through all this court battle, but I'm sure that Wally is listening, and he's got an excellent staff.
Here's the kickoff, first kickoff return of this ball game for LSU. And they're having some trouble with it. That's Gary James. He's down at the 12-yard line. James averages nearly 18 yards a return, but not this time. Harold McGrew with a tackle for Tulane. Penalty marker down again. I think it's going to be against Tulane this time. That was the preliminary indication. There's the man who's participated in the game more than some of the players tonight. Our referee, his name is Paul Schmidt. Clipping against LSU. He had pointed toward Tulane previously, or one of the other officials had, but it will be against LSU. It's at the 11. If it's clipping, it'll go back half the distance. I saw him put it on the wrong side. I thought my addition was off. 5.5-yard penalty.
Against LSU on the return, 1st and 10.
So the Tigers in a deep hole here, Tim. Might we look for Tulane to be sending somebody like Neal or Cormier or even Trey Sanji?
I think it's always a good time to be conservative defensively. They've got to drive the ball 95 yards to score. The last time we saw LSU in this situation against Tennessee, they threw the big one.
Wickersham gives to Hilliard. Conservative offense, conservative defense out to the 8-yard line. Let's set the football teams for you once again. It's Wickersham, the quarterback. Lang and Hilliard are the running backs for LSU. Martin, Junius Doral, Mitch Andrews are the receivers and tight end. And for Tulane, the front line is Neal, Wenzel, Perez, Harvey Cox, and Mel Cormier. Jackson and Denner, the linebackers. It's Thomas, Bayham, Sanji, and Gene Harris in the defensive backfield for Tulane to open the second half. 2nd down 7 from the 8-yard line. Wickersham. Popped into the air, incomplete. One of the on-rushing defensive linemen. It'll bring up 3rd down 7. LSU remains in a hole. I think it was Wenzel who got it. He bited one down earlier in the first half, number 80.
It was fortunate for LSU that ball was batted down. Wickersham had thrown the ball into some traffic there. They had both the weak back who was running an option pattern and the split end covered there.
Wickersham only 7 out of 16 for 88 yards and 1 interception. He's doing a lot better than on the year. He's got some 2,300 yards. That's complete to Lang. Out to the 16-yard line. Close to the 1st down. Penalty marker back in the defensive backfield over on the near side of the field.
You may get a defensive holding call against Tulane.
That's the indication from Jeff Wickersham, who's assisting Paul Schmidt, the referee. Brother, you got to know the penalty information in a ball game like this. The flags have just been flying all night long. In the press box, a lot of the reporters and a lot of the people who watch a lot of these games, including staffs for both universities, were saying they felt that it was a poorly executed game in the first half as opposed to a game that just was rock'em sock'em defense. There's a consensus of the viewers. There's the call. Defensive holding, as Tim had pointed out earlier.
Jerry Stovall, some question marks in his future. One of his comments this afternoon was he doesn't know what the future holds, but he knows who holds the future. And for him, he's talking about somebody bigger than
holding
Bob
against Tulane, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Out to the 18.5-yard line. 1st down, LSU now. They trail Tulane 7-3, 14:09 to go, 3rd quarter. This is Bob Neal and Tim Foley. Craig Sager sideline with us tonight from the Superdome in New Orleans. Thanksgiving night football on the Superstation. Hand off to the tailback. Dalton Hilliard out to the 22-yard line. Tackled by the middle guard, Vic Perez. From West New York, New Jersey. We've got some players from some weird-sounding towns like West New York, New Jersey. And Juan Betanzos, the kicker for LSU, was born in Mexico City, but lives in Bay, St. Louis. Now, that's not Missouri. It's near Louisiana. But it's not in Louisiana. It's in Mississippi.
You can write that down and send it over to me, will you?
A little geography lesson here tonight. 2nd down 7, LSU. Wickersham has a man this time. Out to the 43, number 83, tight end Mitch Andrews, 27 Bayham. Bayham with the tackle. He's the free safety, and that's the first catch of the night for Andrews, a 21-yarder.
Nice protection here by the LSU offensive line. Keeping Wenzel pretty much under control there. Rifles it down the middle. Cormier man-to-man on Andrews. Andrews beats him to the inside. Bayham's there to make the tackle.
Tough one to pull down. He's a big 240-pound tight end. First down, LSU from the 42-yard line of the Tigers. Wickersham wanted to throw a quick release here, but there was just nothing open intended for Dalton Hilliard. You could see him. It was a short 3-step drop, and he wanted to pop it out there to the running back, but once again, good defensive coverage by Tulane on that play.
It's surprising that Tulane is putting as much emphasis on their defense back into the short side of the field. Obviously, well prepared, anticipating the throw back into the sideline by LSU.
That young man right there, 2,372 yards passing on the year, completing nearly 60% of his passes. That's 4th in the SEC. What a year he's had. As a sophomore, he succeeded Alan Risher, the great quarterback who graduated from LSU last year. Second down, 10 from the 47. Penalty markers go down. And that happened, I believe, the 25-second clock expired. I'm not certain, but it went down to the defensive backfield, and that's the official who normally calls. And there you see Jerry Stovall saying, hurry it up. Stovall was a great running back at LSU and also played defensive back and then went to the St. Louis Cardinals in pro football, where he played for 63 to 79.
With delay against LSU, second down.
And was an all-pro a couple of years. 67, 68, assistant at South Carolina. And Wally and his son Dan, I believe, to his right there.
That's right.
Dan's a part-time student at Tulane and quite the athlete himself, but he's trying to get over an injury to his spinal cord. Column, excuse me. Second down, 15. Wickersham. Diving grab. I can't see who till he gets up. There it is, Dalton Hilliard, right at the 41-yard line. Little Dalton Hilliard's only 5'8", right in front of the LSU bench. Let's watch it again.
An option pattern by Dalton Hilliard. Comes down, looks for the open area in the zone. This time he breaks it back to the outside, makes an excellent catch as he dives to the left of Donald Ray Thomas.
Third down, 11 from the 41-yard line. LSU only 2 out of 8 on third down conversions. Wickersham. It's complete to the 39-yard line to number 41, Martin. First down, LSU. 18-yard pass completion to their leading receiver, Eric Martin, a junior from Van Vleck, Texas.
We get to see Eric Martin working. Comes down, nice head turn to the inside, sucks the defensive back to the inside, breaks back around to the outside. Wickersham had time to set up and throw it, put it on the money.
You can mark that down as a key play for the LSU Tigers. They needed that conversion. Hilliard drives inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. 11:48 to go, third quarter. LSU trailing 7-3, but on the drive.
LSU had looked good early, trapping Tulane up the middle. Tulane adjusted well, shut that down. I'd look for LSU to run the ball now to the outside. They've had some opportunities.
Dalton Hilliard averages 4.2 yards on the year, only 3.8 so far tonight, as you saw. Here's a handoff to Lang, the fullback. He's a former tailback, has speed. Penalty markers are down everywhere, though. He goes down at the 18-yard line. There was a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Donald Ray Thomas with the tackle. Illegal procedure against LSU. That'll nullify an outstanding run by Gene Lang. Wipes out a 16-yard carry. LSU started this drive way back their own 5.5.
We have a legal procedure against LSU. 6 men on the line. Second down.
Just lining up wrong. You got to have 7 men on the line. 19 penalties already in this game. You'd think it was early in the season instead of the last game. Slot right formation. In motion, number 82, Junius Doral. Wickersham on the second down. Good pressure by Wenzel, but Wickersham goes long. Nobody's down there. Eric Martin had stopped his pattern at about the 12. Wickersham apparently thought he was going to be deeper than that. Sanji was covering a mix-up on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 8 from the 39-yard line, and that penalty will stall the LSU drive unless they can come up with another big 3rd down conversion.
Well, that's the defensive philosophy at work here. Conservative zone defense, letting the offense beat themselves with an in-motion penalty or a holding penalty, making them drive 95 for a score.
Pro set formation for the Tigers. It's complete. That's Martin. To the 12-yard line, tackled by Donald Ray Thomas. Big play receiver Eric Martin with a 27-yard 3rd down possession reception.
As a defensive back in this situation, you're thinking inside. You really have no help inside. Your help is deep. And you're really vulnerable if that receiver is able to work across the field in front of you. You saw Martin jump to the inside of Thomas and then push him back to the outside and take it across the middle. Nice job.
Tulane leading 7-3. LSU on the drive. Hilliard to the 5. A yard and a half short of the 1st down. Benny Burst tripping him up for Tulane.
Excellent blend between the run and the pass on this drive. You see Lang leading the way. Big hole in that Tulane front. Hard to tell who got there to make that stop. Good hustle.
2nd down. 12th play of this drive. Hilliard to the 4. He's going to be considerably short of the 1st down. It's going to be 3rd down and short yardage. Again, another very crucial conversion situation for the Tigers. They've had two big 3rd down conversions and have overcome penalties on this drive. Now let's check the lineup here for LSU. Let's see what they have. Double tight ends, 83 Andrews, 81 Curtis. Lang and Hilliard in the backfield. Only wide receiver is Herman Fontenot. That's Dalton Hilliard. I don't think he got the 1st down. He did not get the 1st down. Burnell Dent and Mike Popko. Number 43 is Dent, 95 is Popko with a great defensive stand for Tulane. And now a decision on the part of Jerry Stovall at LSU. Jeff Wickersham comes over to talk to his head coach. I get a feeling they're going to go for it.
Always tempting to go for it. Whether it's a wise thing to do, Jerry Stovall will decide during this timeout.
Sending documents for million-dollar deals across the country doesn't intimidate me. I trust Emory, desk to desk.
Call Emory. We've earned the trust of American business.
Hotter, cooler, hotter. The changing temperature inside a stereo receiver can distort music. So Techniques introduces the computer drive receiver with a microcomputer to control temperature, actually stopping distortion before it starts. For performance few receivers approach. Computer drive stereo receivers, the technology you expect from Techniques, the science of sound.
Miss Bailiff?
He's young, and he's different.
You're a dummy, Tucker Faraday, a dummy!
But even a handicap cannot keep away his dreams.
I've been sizing you up. I really think you got the makings of a skater.
The Skating Rink, Sunday afternoon on Superstation WTBS.
So Jerry Stovall's LSU Tigers are going for it. It is 4th down 1 at the 4 of Tulane. Tulane leads 7-3. Handoff Hilliard. Touchdown LSU.
See this again, low in the end zone. Lang leading the way. Nice job of blocking up front by Langford, and Smith gets it all the way into the end zone for 6 points. Gamble by Jerry Stovall. It paid off.
Here's Juan Betanzos in for the point after touchdown now, number 9. Betanzos with a 46-yard field goal in the first half. It's good.
LSU has taken a lead of 10-7 with 9:11 to go, third quarter. We may have a real barn burner. Stay with us.
Thanksgiving weekend and the big USA 1 year-end sales drive is on. Chevy dealers are out to sell 250,000 cars and trucks by year's end. With so many to sell, it's dealing time. There's another reason to see your Chevy dealer. You can save $255 on a specially equipped S10 pickup or $730 on a tough C10 pickup. And for the first time ever from Chevrolet, take retail delivery now on any of these selected models only and make no monthly payment until March 1st with GMAC financing. See your Chevy dealer now.
Richard Petty moves to the inside and heads for turn 3. 2 cars in trouble. A spin. Richard is boxed in with nowhere to go. Oh, Petty gets hit hard.
Now that was a headache. That was a Goodies headache. You got that right. You know, I've been using Goodies headache powders for years. For one simple reason. Goodies gets rid of the pain fast. So the next time you run into a headache, or one runs into you, get yourself a Goodies. They sure work for me.
15 times since 1939, Southeastern Conference schools have led the NCAA in scoring defense, including 1960 and 62, when LSU, led by All-American back and current coach Jerry Stovall, topped the national charts. Outstanding defensive teams continue to be an integral part of SEC football. The preceding message provided by the Southeastern Conference. There's the man who scored the touchdown, Dalton Hilliard, his 6th rushing touchdown of the year, and a key player on that drive along with Martin and Wickersham, 2 crucial third down conversions.
That's what they did not do in the first half. They certainly did it effectively in that drive.
Let's give credit to Gene Lang with a great block on the goal line attempt. Deep into the Tulane end zone. It'll be touchdown by Mike Jones, and Tulane will come out to their own 20. And now the momentary momentum has switched to LSU. And in this interstate rivalry, you're going to get momentum changes all about as quickly as the ball is snapped. 94 yards, almost 6 minutes of possession time by LSU. Unusual for them on a scoring drive.
A perfect blend of the run and the pass. That was the first possession of the second half.
All right, let's reset the Tulane players. Wade Elmore, the quarterback, number 1. Elton Beals, the lone setback. Savini, 89, 84, Router, the tight ends. 3 Smith, and 83 Griffin, the receivers. Elmore. He goes down at the 14. Sean Burks, number 57, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, with the penetration and the sack. Let's watch him.
To watch the LSU linebackers there. Burks is coming. Chatham holding for coverage. Fights his way around. Good coverage by the LSU secondary. Elmore had enough time to throw the ball there. He had nowhere to go.
And a good job by our TBS crew on the replay once again, as they do such a great job all year long. This is our 17th primetime college football telecast of 1983. Tom Smith, our director tonight. Mike Lardner, the producer. A lot of great crew members. We'll be telling you about them as we go along. Here's Elmore. Penalty marker down at about the 18. Elmore is tackled at the 25-yard line. Eugene Daniel with the tackle. Holding's a call against Tulane. Speaking of the Turner Broadcasting coverage of college football, one of the easier places to telecast a game in terms of technical facilities here is the Superdome, because it's set up so well and with all the modern facilities. But a lot of places it's almost a building job when we go in, and this crew does such a great job. Sometimes 2 football games a week with excellent high-quality coverage, and we're proud of every one of them. Rowan Backfish, our associate producer, and Joan Hagel, our superb assistant director, in the booth.
We're holding against Tulane. Half the distance to go. It's second down.
So back inside the 10, Tulane with their back to the wall, and you can see from that end zone shot how far away the other end of that field can be. Fields 38, single setback behind number 1 Elmore. Great end zone view for you. Incomplete, intended for 84, Larry Rout.
Let's go down to Craig Sager on the sideline. There's another football team in these parts. They're called the Saints.
Thank you, Bob. Stan Brock, the punt offensive tackle for the Saints. His brother's playing out here. It looks like the momentum has changed in the game.
It's a lot easier to see things happen on the field watching it than when you're in uniform having to play, but I could tell and see that the offensive line looked real tight in the first half, and after the penalty, they came back and they loosened up and, of course, went in to score.
Thank you. Back to you, Bob.
Wade Elmore, 3rd down, 21. That's Wayne Smith. He can't get to it. The LSU defense has held Hobley 29, Clark 19. Wally English going to have to give the ball up, trailing 10-7.
Interesting to see him working the sidelines in that 3rd down situation. Probably making it easier for Elmore if the receiver is covered to just throw it out of bounds as opposed to taking the chance and risking firing it down the middle in that situation.
Here is Jim Barkey, number 16, averaging 42 yards a punt tonight. He's done an excellent job. He's punted out of his end zone. This will be the 3rd time tonight. It's another beauty. Barkey has done a great job under pressure. Ellington at his 35. He has the picket fence. Let's see if he can turn it. Trips on the turf and falls down at the 30-yard line. Freshman Eric Ellington. Oh, what a great job of punting, but a great return also. 54-yard punt, 35-yard return. And we'll be right back.
Who usually does this for LSU is Norman Jefferson, their great freshman return man. He's in the hospital right now, and that's a big break for LSU. Got a timeout.
Bobby, if we get started, she's yours.
Now, don't be getting his hopes up.
When's the last time this thing saw daylight? Long time ago.
Earl, it's going to take a better pitch crew than us to make this baby turn over.
Let's get to it.
Where's the battery, Grandpa?
There's one here somewhere.
Oh, this carburetor's going to need some work.
Needs points.
What do you think, Grandpa?
Better clean these plugs, so. Hope the fuel pump's okay. Let's give her a drink, see what happens. All right.
Let her rip.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
Let's look at a low-angle replay now. This is freshman Eric Ellington, number 12.
Not a man that's used to being in this situation. As we mentioned, Norman Jefferson back in Baton Rouge. Trucking down the road here, perfectly set up by LSU. Gets a little bit excited, tries to go faster than he's used to, and the turf grabs him.
LSU ball, handoff on the 1st down. That's a freshman, Craig Rathjen, to the 16-yard line. LSU 1st down. Let me correct something. We were talking about Eric Ellington being a freshman. He is a senior from Cincinnati, 5'9", 176. A mistake on our listing of rosters there, but he's a senior, the fellow that had the great return on the punt. Here's a look at the blocking as Rathjen carries the ball up the middle.
Chris Cannon coming down, can't quite make the play. Left to Bayham.
Gary James to the 12. Needs to go to the 6.5 for the 1st down.
See what momentum and emotion can do to a football team. LSU now in the first half weren't playing excited football, and now they had a nice drive, started off the second half making good plays, converting the 3rd downs, and now they're playing like they really believe in themselves. Tulane's got to make a big play here on defense.
It'll be 2nd down, 6. Rathjen close to the 1st down. He should be short of the first down. Number 80, Clinton Wenzel with the tackle. Rathjen is 6'3", 205, a redshirt freshman from Houston. A big, big truckload. One of those classic big backs that's so hard to pull down. He comes out now.
Got an interesting contraption on his neck there. He's got a neck brace, probably has got a little bit of a neck problem, and also his helmet is attached to his shoulder pad so his head can't come down.
Double tight ends, full house backfield. Conversion situation. Here's Gary James. He's hit hard and stopped short of the first down. Burnell Dent, number 43, leading the way, just standing up there. Eddie Neal on the play also. Good defensive stop. Let's watch for the mark now. It's going to be it's going to be about a yard away, I believe. They may have to bring the sticks in. Six are on the far side of the field.
Excuse me, Sanji really came over the top there. What you want to do defensively is get yourself in a position so when you do hit the back, you're hitting the back with some momentum. What some linebackers do is get up so close that when they make contact and impact on the running back, can't generate any momentum. Watch them coming up over the top. You had it right, Bob. That was Burnell Dent coming in over the top. Just reckless abandon. That's what you call that.
So we've got another fourth down gamble by LSU and Jerry Stovall. Last time it was from the 4, and Dalton Hilliard took it in the end zone. This time it's Wickersham keeping. Ball came loose. We'll watch for the spot and the signal. The spot will give LSU a first down. Tulane thought they had the ball.
Bad news for Tulane. Clint Wenzel just limped off the field. You see Ted Heath sending in the signal.
First down goal from just outside the 5. Full house backfield stays in there for Tulane. Gary James to about the 4 and no more. The Green Wave defense playing tough inside their 5. Burnell Dent with his 7th tackle of the night now. Dent is a sophomore. 6'1", 220.
Probably their best player on defense, according to defensive coordinator Bob Davies. Tremendous amount of ability, improving all the time. Only a sophomore.
Second down goal from the 4. Gary James, second effort to the 1 and no more. Burnell Dent, 43, number 22, Donald Ray Thomas on the stop. 4:52 to go, third quarter. LSU leading 10-7. It's going to be another third down.
The right tackle, Lance Smith, coming down, really doing a job on the nose man, Vic Perez. Donald Ray Thomas hurrying over from his cornerback position to prevent the touchdown.
Now Rathjen has gone in. He's the 6'3", 205-pound fullback. Gary James stays in, and Herman Fontenot moves from flanker, number 40, to the backfield as a blocker. Third down, Wickersham does not get in. Dent again, and Mark Bourne, 57, with help. It'll be fourth down again.
You see this again. He tries to just dive into the bubble of the defense. That area where the linebacker is standing back off the ball, they refer to as the bubble. Jerry Stovall hoping that the quarterback could take the ball on a quick count and just pop in there before Tulane was really prepared to muster any kind of preventative defense.
Excuse me, Tim. Fourth down, you see the distance, less than a yard. James, he doesn't get in. Number 43, Burnell Dent with the stop. Oh, what great individual effort by Tulane.
One of the officials is signaling touchdown, Bob. I don't know what's happening here.
Now LSU celebrating.
Down in the corner, the official in the far corner signaled touchdown. It didn't come from anyone else.
It did not appear that he
got in, but remember, you have only to break the plane of the goal line with the ball in your possession for a touchdown. Look at this great view.
Tulane lineman submarining, forcing James to leap into the air. It's close. Obviously, the official at the bottom of your screen thought it was a touchdown.
Too close for us to call. My opinion is it did not look as though he got in. Nevertheless, they counted. Point after. Good. LSU has taken a 17-7 lead. We'll look at it again. Whoa, it's mighty close.
It certainly is. You got to get out the slide ruler to determine whether that's a touchdown or not.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Chevy S10 Blazer is out ahead of Bronco 2 with InstaTrack, the revolutionary system that lets you shift from freewheeling two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive high and back at any speed. And Chevy S10 Blazer beats Bronco 2 with two-wheel drive they don't offer, a four-cylinder engine they don't have, and mileage that's even better than last year. Chevy S10 Blazer. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
That sounds like a hit record. You know, if there's one thing we insist on, it's originality. In our music and in our clothes. And that's why we wear original members only. The fit and style fit our style. Hey, speaking of style, you put it on, something happens to you. And remember, it's not really members only unless it says so. Right here on the pocket. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
Wally English and his quarterback Wade Elmore are 10 points down with 3:47 to go, third quarter. Mike Jones, the deep return man, as LSU about to kick off. And there's Juan Matanzos for LSU. It won't be returned again. Too high, too deep. Tulane up to their own 20. Tulane's only had the ball 1 minute and 35 seconds in this entire third quarter. It has been all LSU. They just had it 3:49 there to get that 1-yard touchdown plunge by James.
Scored on the first possession, 95-yard drive. Last drive, a little shorter as a result of a successful punt return by LSU.
Splitting out to the left, down to the bottom of the screen, are Robert Griffin and Wayne Smith. Single setback. Beals, first down 10, Tulane. Beals going to run the other way. Individual effort for about 4 yards. He was contained, apparently, in the backfield, but broke the tackle. Chapman drives him out of bounds, and there's Wade Elmore on the night. Only 4 out of 13 for 66 yards passing. See number 10, Tyrone Vaughns, is a freshman wide receiver into the game. Rarely into the game, but he has great talent and great speed. 6'1", 180 from New Orleans.
He was a high school All-American that can really fly. When he's in the football game, you've always got to be concerned about the bombaroo.
Second down 5 from the 25. They hand it off to Elton Beals. Gets the first down to the 36. Lifford Hobley with a tackle. Beals is a senior from Baton Rouge, but he played his junior college football at Merritt Junior College in California, and there broke all of O.J. Simpson's junior college rushing record. Watch the linebackers.
Sean Burks at the top of your page, Toby Katzen. Beals breaks it outside.
First down from the 36-yard line. Elmore on the run under pressure, completes it, gets about a 3-yard gain. He threw it out there to 84 Larry Rout. There's some strong pressure coming there from Toby Caston. Caston is number 69, a linebacker for LSU. And Tim, been reading some in the paper, Baton Rouge newspaper, as a matter of fact, about Toby Caston. He was he's from Monroe, Louisiana, recruited very heavily by Tulane and LSU, and kind of mysteriously couldn't be found right before signing day last year. When he finally appeared, he delayed for 4 days his signing, finally went to LSU, and there's some nasty feelings between the two over that young man. He's talented. That's why there's nasty feelings. Both wanted it. Elmore
intercepted. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Carl Wilson, who's 6'5", a defensive left tackle, then fell harmlessly to the turf, bringing up third down from the 39-yard line of Tulane.
I'm sure there's a lot of competition between these two schools, especially with an in-state product. They probably feel like they have a little bit of an edge against some of the other SEC schools and some of the other schools around the country that come into Louisiana that recruit all these fine athletes.
Wade Elmore is a local product also, New Orleans youngster. He's a junior, by the way. Very talented. Handoff to Larry Rout, the tight end, who came from the right side after the fake to the running back. And it's short. There will be a punting situation. By the way, at the end of this game, Tim and I will be selecting the most valuable player. Then Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the school. Each player will be used for any student there in various fields of endeavor. One of the great programs in the United States, and our thanks to Chevrolet on behalf of the colleges for that. Almost $2 million has been donated in scholarships for MVPs over the years. Markey gets away another beauty. Ellington and his 17 down hard. Charles Dunn, 51 with the tackle. Tulane's coverage team had their emotions bruised when Ellington had a great return last punt. Not this time.
Well, this young man's excited. The last time he got his hands on the football, brought it back a long way. Nobody home this time out. Good controlled coverage by Tulane, coming up, breaking down, and making the tackle.
There you see both the receivers for LSU splitting up to the left side. Martin and Fontenot. First down 10 from the 18-yard line. That's Martin in motion. Wickersham's going to look for him, I think. It's complete to Dalton Hilliard. And there's Martin, who got in his way upfield. Martin kind of motioned out of the way, but not enough out of the way. But Hilliard does get the first down anyway.
Again, throwing back into the short side of the field. Hilliard on an option, makes the catch, breaks the tackle. Jackson. Good first down play.
Out to the 32-yard line. 17-7, LSU with a 10-point lead. 1:24 to go, third quarter. Dalton Hilliard, 4 catches tonight for 45 yards. He's rushed for 57 and has 1 touchdown, running the ball. Gene Lang, the fullback, driving out to the 47-yard line. Gene Harris with a tackle. And this LSU running game now starting to look a little bit like they expected the LSU running game to be all year long.
They're in an unbalanced front here. The tight end and both wide receivers are to the right of your screen. They trap it inside, create a hole for Lang, who looks rather nifty on his feet for a fullback.
1:04 to go, third quarter. First down 10, LSU. 10-point lead. Tulane hoping for a turnover. Dalton Hilliard showing why so many people think he's going to be a great. Trey Sonji with the tackle for Tulane. Hilliard's 5'8", but 190 from Patterson, Louisiana.
Hit in the backfield by Burnell Dent. Dent not able to hold on for the tackle. LSU playing with much more emotion this half.
Second down 5 from the 48. Dalton Hilliard, first down. Burnell Dent, Clinton Wenzel with the tackles for the Tulane defensive unit.
Tulane's defensive front is much smaller than LSU's offensive line. They've got Smith weighs, he's a good 290-pounder. Clint Berry's a big fella. Tulane's defense must move and must blitz. They're not big enough to go head-to-head with this LSU football team.
Jeff Wickersham, you see looking over to the sideline to his coach here, just holds all kinds of LSU records. Most completions in a season, total offense in a season, most complete games, passing yardage, but it's a little misleading because the stats in passing yardage have come mainly because LSU has not been able to run the ball all that well this year. Tonight, he's not passing for such great yardage, but the running game is working and LSU is ahead.
If you're one of the many people whose life insurance needs are changing today, check with State Farm.
I'm State Farm Agent Jim Scally. In today's economy, people's life insurance needs are changing, and State Farm is changing to meet those needs. We have a variety of life insurance products, all at a good price. We'll help you plan the program that's right for you, and we'll be there to help you keep it up to date. Check with State Farm.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Watch closely. Here comes Fujifilm with color pictures so true to life, it's a real breakthrough. Fuji HR Films. Fuji's advanced technology has developed a higher resolution film than we've ever had before. So we give you sharper pictures with truer color than ever before. Get Fuji HR Films and get the true picture. Enter our Olympic sweepstakes and look for this $1 refund offer from Fuji, the official film of the Los Angeles Olympics.
This is pure wool. It makes some of the world's finest fabrics. Fabrics like this, used by the internationally known maker of menswear, Hager. The Gallery by Hager offers trim-fitting slacks and sport coats like these, also tailored of luxurious pure wools. Why does Hager choose fabrics of this quality? Because Hager wants you to look and feel your best.
I can't believe we're bidding a job this big. They wanted somebody new.
If you can make the numbers work, it means the big time. That's why you've got the Rainbow, the new personal computer from Digital with 2 separate microprocessors. One for today's jobs, another for tomorrow's. It's like getting 2 computers for the price of 1.
That's it. Welcome to the big time.
The Rainbow from Digital Equipment Corporation. Call 1-800-DIGITAL for the store nearest you.
The fourth quarter of tonight's game is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By America's #1 imported beer, Heineken. Just say, come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken. And by the world's second largest computer company, Digital Equipment Corporation. 15 minutes of football remaining for LSU and for Tulane in the 1983 season. LSU dominating the yardage in this game. All of that extra yardage and time of possession has been built up in this third quarter. Here's Hilliard to the 28, tackled by 14, Trey Sunji. Dalton Hilliard getting up close to 80 yards on the night.
You see this one from a low angle, and Gambrell, Langford, and Fordham are beginning to wear down that Tulane defensive front. There's a nice job of running by Dalton Hilliard. Look at him reach that stride early in the run. Breaks a tackle and moving on down the road, gaining speed quickly.
Hilliard, 77 yards, 17 carries, 45 yards in the air. Hilliard again, now goes over 80 with 14:26 to go in the game, and LSU protecting a 10-point lead by maintaining control of the football. By the way, it's about time to vote on the Heisman Trophy this year. One of these days, the names of those two fellas, James and Hilliard, will probably be candidates. Mike Rozier, Nebraska, the leading candidate this year, along with Steve Young of Brigham Young University. Here's Hilliard again. Oh, he's a man of fire now. Got down to the 20 before he bumped back about 1.5 yards short. Bayham with the tackle. I happen to be fortunate to be one of the balloters in the Heisman. And I've got to mail it in tomorrow, and I'm torn between Young and Rozier. What a tough decision.
That is, we'll talk about that in a second. You're going to see Sanji in your picture on a safety blitz, not able to regain his momentum to grab Hilliard before Hilliard twists and drives for extra yardage.
He's only a sophomore. Gary James also only a sophomore. That's the closest a Tiger, and the green thing is called the Greenie, or the Green Wave, the Tulane mascot. Almost picked off, intended for number 83, Mitch Andrews. I don't know, Tim, what do you think? You talk about the Heisman Trophy. Here's Steve Young with over 4,000 yards total offense, 3,900 yards throwing the ball, and Mike Rozier just has incredible statistics.
Well, I'm sure they'll both receive a lot of votes, and both of them are outstanding athletes, incredible, and each one in his own field, one throwing the ball, one running the ball, has performed almost beyond human limitations.
Here's Betanzos, 37-yard field goal attempt. splits the uprights, and it's 20-7. LSU with 13:18 to go in the game. Back in a moment to the Superdome.
Someday soon, you could very well have the best of everything. But you will have to begin somewhere. And the best place to begin is with the very best beer in the world. The best tasting beer wherever you go. When you think about it, why would you ever have anything else?
Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken.
USA Today. Why are people everywhere reading it? Because USA Today brings them the USA in an entirely different way. It combines the fast-paced color coverage of TV news with the comprehensive coverage of newspapers and magazines. USA Today, the nation's newspaper. Exciting, rewarding, fascinating, and vital.
Brings you the USA.
On the sideline, Wally English, the head coach, talking to Tyrone Vaughn's a freshman receiver, and number 1 Wade Elmore, the quarterback.
Well, they might have seen something different from LSU on defense, and it looked as though they were drawing up a play.
Matanzos, this one's returnable. Mike Jones. But not much, out to the 17 or 18, where he's tackled by Tony Nephew, his second special teams tackle of the night, number 52, and there's a penalty marker down. Personal foul against LSU. That'll give some field position here to Tulane. They're down 13 points with 13-13 remaining in the game. If you're into numerology, that'll probably mean something significant to you. I'm not, but I just thought I'd point it out.
Personal foul, late hit. Gets LSU first down.
All the way out to the 32.5-yard line, so that's pretty good field position for the Green Wave.
One of the capacities of a great coach, coaches will always be judged on their ability to be flexible. If the defense is showing them something that they're not used to, the ability to change during the game.
Wade Elmore has as a single setback Elton Fields. He comes in motion. Nobody back there now but Elmore. Quarterback draw. That's what they threw up. First down, Tulane. Out to the 47, Jeffrey Dale with a tackle. I guess that's what they saw, Tim Foley.
Well, this is one of the things they like. If it happens to be man-to-man coverage, one of the linebackers is going to be running out with Fields, which will leave no one backing up the line. This time, Elmore beats the tackle of Brooks there, who tries to make a shoestring stop, but Elmore, powerful runner as a quarterback, fights his way upfield.
That's only the second time tonight Tulane's garnered a first down via the run. Elmore trying to make something happen himself. He's going to keep it to the 46-yard line. He'll be about 3 yards short of a first down. Dale with a tackle again. But Elmore, not the great passer, but he's a great athlete, and he can make something happen.
Looks to throw this back into the sideline. His receiver is jammed. Can't work his way free. Brooks in pursuit again, waving his receivers downfield. Now he makes a decision. He's going to run with the football, and Jeffrey Dale makes a tackle. Could have got a face mask called on him there.
So Wade Elmore leading this team by example. Second down, long 2 from the 46. Mike Jones is back in there. Fumbled. Jones recovers it, gets a fortunate bounce. Going to lose about a yard on the play. It'll bring up third down at about 3 or longer. Freddie Lewis with the tackle. What a good basketball bounce there for Jones, or that could have been deep water.
It looked like he dribbled the ball. I can't believe it bounced straight back up.
We see him go behind his back. We'll know he did it. He tried it again. Didn't come back up the right time this time. Watch this. Let's look at it again. Basketball, they call this putting it on the floor.
Come down with a little quick option. Brooks putting it on Elmore. The ball floated out there. Jones dribbled it, and it came back up to him.
Thought we were going to see the ball being put on the floor. Instead, we see the quarterback being put on the floor. Here's Elmore. A lot of pressure. Real trouble. Oh, he almost completed it underhanded to Elton Fields. That will not be intentional grounding. He almost completed that pass. It was Rehaj and Dale pressuring him back there. Number 7 and number 4, but Elmore just shuttled it forward.
Tremendous athletic ability here. Freddie Lewis causing Elmore concern. Here comes Jeffrey Dale from a strong safety position. Zip. He sees a trace of green there in Elton Beals.
Here's Barkey now. He's in for his 8th punt of the night.
He's done a fine job all night long.
Yes, he
got him out of
has.
some real trouble.
Lifford Hobley is back at the 15 for LSU. 4th down and about 3. It's another beauty. He's going to try to get it out of bounds. Into the end zone for a touchback. Close but no cigar. And it'll come out to the 20 and be LSU ball. 1st down 10. Tigers lead 20-7. 11 minutes to go in the game.
When Valvoline announced its gold medal sale with special prices on Valvoline motor oil, we knew it'd be popular, but we didn't know it'd be like this.
I can't believe it's all gone.
Getting a top-quality motor oil, an oil that won a gold medal for lubricating excellence at a money-saving offer, is too good to pass up.
I can't believe it's all gone.
Better get yours now while you can. Look for Valvoline on sale where you see the gold medal sale sign. But hurry, it's going fast.
A lot of good old boys around here know the best places to hunt and fish. Places that are hard to get to and get through and get around. That's why they got the original, the Honda ATC. The ATC will get you through water, it'll get you through swamp and mud. The fact is, the ATC works so good down here. There's a story going around that Mr. Honda used to live on the bayou. Everybody know he lived up by Shreveport.
NCAA rules and regulations governing recruiting, eligibility, and financial aid are outlined in a free brochure entitled NCAA Guide for the College-Bound Student Athlete. For a copy, write NCAA Recruiting, Box 1906, Mission, Kansas, 66201. That's NCAA Recruiting, Box 1906, Mission, Kansas, 66201. Become familiar with these rules. The preceding message provided by the NCAA. So Tulane leads 20-7, 10:59 remaining in the game, and it's ball possession time for LSU. LSU with the ball. They're leading 20-7. Popped into the air, almost picked off. Was tipped by 54 Harvey Cox. And it was Mel Cormier who tried in vain to intercept.
Wickersham dropping to throw on 1st down. Harvey Cox gets his arms up in the air. The pressure is by Cox and Jackson. Cormier almost has a chance to make a big play. Can't pull the ball.
2nd down 10. Tulane looking for that big play, trailing 20-7. Gary James just leaps into the pile of tacklers, got only a couple of yards. David Jackson will get credit for the tackle. That's him there, 41, getting off the pile for the Tulane Green Wave. Time remaining in the game, 20-7, LSU leading Tulane.
The first half, LSU only had 53 yards rushing the ball. They're averaging less than 3 yards a carry. Now they're up to 180 yards rushing the football, and that's what's brought them the lead, their ability to move the ball on the ground.
Number 40, Fontenot, up at the top of your screen. They give the ball to Fontenot, who comes around the end. Excellent play by Thomas, but he missed the tackle. Fontenot fumbles the ball. Remains in the possession of LSU. Out at the 38-yard line. 1st down. Fumbled by Fontenot. Fallen on by LSU. There's the man who came up with it. I think it was 41 Martin. We'll see here, Tim.
Fontenot, as you'd mentioned earlier, Bob, was a tailback. Donald Ray Thomas puts a good hit on him. He just fights his way through it. Harris trying to hang on. Sonji knocks the ball out. Looks like Martin is the one that does come up with the football.
Number 41. It's 1st down LSU at the 39-yard lines where they mark it. Hand off to the fullback, Gene Lang. Clinton Wenzel with the stop, a gain of about 3.5. Some hard hitting still going on out there by the Green Wave of Tulane. They're trailing 20-7, and that clock ticking fast in the eyes of that man, Wally English.
Needs to get the ball back, needs a turnover by his defense. The defense provided the impetus for the only score they've had thus far in the football game.
Jeff Wickersham, 12 out of 25, 170 yards, hands it to Hilliard. They're going to try to keep it on the ground. Hilliard short of the first down. It'll be about 3rd and 3. David Jackson with the tackle. So here's one of those conversion situations for Jerry Stovall's troops.
Jerry exhorting his charges, trying to keep the emotion running. He realizes that anything can happen in the football game. There's almost 9 minutes left. A lot of points can be scored.
This young man from Merritt Island, Florida, number 5, Wickersham, gives to Dalton Hilliard. He got close to the first down, but maybe did not get it. This will be an important mark and measurement here on the part of Tulane as the clock's down to 8:37 to go.
Bob Davies done a fine job with this Tulane defense. He came to Tulane from Pittsburgh. 4th down. Looks like they're going to punt it. Kurt Schottenheimer is a secondary coach. His brother Marty is a defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. Football coaching runs in that family.
Here's Clay Parker. Boy, he got a beauty this time. Kurt Bayham at the 10. No more. Tulane 90 yards away from a touchdown. They're trailing 20-7. Pretty quickly figure that's 13 points down, so they might have some use for a field goal, but they want to score 7. And there's the man who made the tackle, Gene Lang, the fullback. We'll be back in just a moment.
Chevy Tough taking charge. Earth.
Keep moving, moving. S10 Blazer.
Wind.
Keep storming, storming. S10 Blazer.
Fire.
Keep blazing, blazing. S10 Blazer.
Water.
Keep turning, turning. S10 Blazer. Keep moving, keep storming, keep blazing, keep turning.
In all of nature, there's nothing like the thrill of a tough Chevy S10 Blazer. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
This is Bob Neal and Tim Foley inviting you to join us for our telecast of the Hall of Fame Bowl from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, December 22nd, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Jeff Hustetler leading West Virginia's Mountaineers, and Randy Jenkins, the quarterback for Kentucky. Tulane trailing 20-7, 8:02 to go in the game at their own 10-yard line. First down. Mix up in the backfield, but Fields breaks out of there anyway for about 4. Fields and Elmore went right into each other. Tulane's just had the kind of problems you would expect with a team that's played 4 quarterbacks during the season, and that's execution problems.
LSU secondary playing very, very deep. Tulane a lot of room to catch the ball in front of them.
They call this the Pride of Louisiana Bowl. Tulane's won the last 2 games, trailing here. That's complete. The Larry route, the tight end, out to the 25.5-yard line where he's chased out of bounds. This is the weekend for a lot of big games. Army, Navy, Alabama, Boston College, Arizona, Arizona State. Look at this again.
Both wide receivers to the right of your screen. They're throwing it back to the tight end here. Larry Rout, who's lined up back to the short side. That's what they should continue to do. Just move the ball upfield. Biting off a little bit at a time. 7.5 minutes left to go in the game.
First down. 2 receivers up there to the top of your screen. Handoff to Rout on the tight end around. And he gets out to about the 32. Gain of about 5. Sean Burks with the tackle. Talk about those big games. Georgia playing at Georgia Tech. Southern Grambling is a big matchup. They call it the Bayou Classic. They'll be playing here in the Superdome Saturday night. SMU's playing Houston and Tokyo this weekend on Saturday. Nebraska-Oklahoma, of course. It's the biggest point spread for an underdog that Oklahoma has been since Barry Switzer's been there. Nebraska's favored by a couple of touchdowns in the game. Vanderbilt's playing Tennessee, Texas A&M. These season enders, battles, interstate battles like this one here. LSU and Tulane on second down. The man was open, Larry Rout. The pass just wasn't there. 6:41 to go. Brings up third down and 4.
Wade Elmore getting instructions from the sideline. Wally English looking on a little forlornly at this point. They got to hope for a big play, something to put some life and some spark back into that football team.
Third down 4. They need this conversion, that's for sure. Between Tyrone Vaughns and Wayne Smith. No telling who it was intended for. That brings up fourth down, and Tulane will have to give the ball back to LSU with 6:37 remaining in the game.
Looked as though the freshman had an opportunity to make a play on that ball. He just thought it was thrown to Wayne Smith, so he didn't stretch his body out.
There's Eric Ellington. Had a great punt return in the third quarter that really ignited this LSU team to get them out to this 20-7 lead. Another good punt by Barkey. Ellington's going to take it just inside his 25. Down at the 31-yard line. Tackle made by number 40, Benny Burst. 45-yard punt by Barkey. 6:26 to go in the game. LSU football leading 20-7.
Someday soon, you could very well have the best of everything. But you will have to begin somewhere. And the best place to begin is with the very best beer in the world. The best tasting beer wherever you go. When you think about it, why would you ever have anything else?
Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken.
Hi, I'm Reggie Jackson. You know, I surround myself with the finest in classic cars. After all, I collect them. I also surround myself with something extra special in car audio. Panasonic car stereo with ambient sound. Unlike ordinary stereo, Panasonic ambience virtually surrounds me. Like I'm in a concert seat, not just a bucket seat. So listen to Reggie and listen to Panasonic ambience. That's Reggie sound.
Available at your local Panasonic car audio specialist.
Get ready for a blockbuster rivalry between two top-ranked teams when Louisville collides with Kentucky. Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern on Superstation WTBS.
The LSU Tigers now wanting to run out the clock. They lead 20-7. 6:26 to go in this ball game from the Superdome in New Orleans. To the fullback, Rathjen. Out to the 35-yard line, tackled by number 80, Clinton Wenzel. Mentioned the Superdome, Tim. Understand it, more than 250,000 fans are going to pass through these turnstiles in 7 days, starting with last Monday night's Saints pro football game. Then, of course, this game tonight, the Bayou Classic on Saturday night, Saints-Vikings game on Sunday, and all 4 Louisiana high school football championships are played here, too, on December 10th.
They get their money's worth here.
That's a fact. Great facility, and they use it well. Out to the 39-yard line goes Dalton Hilliard, tackled by Wenzel. There's Hilliard. He's had himself a whale of a night tonight. Been the key performer, probably, in opinion of most people in this football game. The tailback, 5'8", 190, sophomore from Patterson.
That offensive line really came to life in the second half. They've been giving him the cracks that he's needed to make the yardage he's accumulated.
This is third down 2. Hilliard again. First down and a little more. Out to the 45. Hilliard getting up close to 100 yards now. That is 100 yards, exactly.
Excuse me, you're going to see these folks fighting off the ball. That's Clint Berry coming down, blocking down on Vic Perez, Fordham pulling, Cam Brell doing the job. Also credit the LSU coaching staff. They came out with a different formation in the second half, an unbalanced line, 2 receivers to one side that Tulane had some problems with.
Hilliard, not much this time, stopped at the line of scrimmage. 4:51, that clock ticking down. Tulane has 3 timeouts remaining. LSU only 2. They used one earlier. They may not have to use them if they can just, LSU I'm talking about. They can maintain possession. They won't have to worry about looking at the score from the wrong end. Jerry Stovall, as he told his players before this game, he said, "I do not know if I'm going to be fired. This could be my last game as head coach of the LSU Tigers." Hilliard. First down. More penalty markers also down. He goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line inside Tulane territory.
I think they might have gotten Fontenot for holding on that particular play. He was blocking Gene Harris over there on the far sideline.
There's the call, holding. You know, there's a USFL team that's going to be here. We talk about the use of the Superdome. Going to be here. The Boston Breakers have moved south. They will be the New Orleans Breakers. I saw a friend of mine named Leonard King, who works for the USFL team Birmingham. He wanted to tell his wife Julia, who's watching tonight, that he had a happy Thanksgiving, but was sorry he couldn't be with him.
We're holding against LSU. Second down.
Jerry Stovall, regardless of what happens here tonight, goes out a winner. He's a man of strong belief, and he's kind of unwavering. Strongly principled coach, and he's done a fine job. Last year took LSU to the Orange Bowl and developed some problems this season due to a young defense, but fine individual.
Second down, 12 from the 43. Pitch to Hilliard. Hilliard playing with a lot of intensity, gets it out to about the 48. Melvin Cormier, who also has had himself a fine football game tonight for Tulane. That was his 6th individual tackle or initial tackle of the night. Dent and Jackson have been just awesome for Tulane at the linebacking positions. Clinton Wenzel's had himself a good game at defensive tackle. Trey Sonji, Donald Ray Thomas. Tulane's defense has played pretty well, giving up only 20 points here to LSU. And when I say only, they've been hard-earned 20. Third down, 6 from the 48.5-yard line. Hilliard trying to pop it outside. Does. First down to the 44. Tripped up by Trey Sonji, number 14.
You know, one thing I don't remember, Bob, growing up, fine effort by Dalton Hilliard. I was raised in the Midwest, where Jack Mullenkoff was a coach at Purdue for 20 years. Murray Warmath was a coach at Minnesota forever. Woody Hayes at Ohio State for a long time. Bump Elliott at Michigan. I don't remember as many changes. And I know all those teams couldn't have been winning all the time. I guess that alumni and administrations were a little bit more patient with their football coaches back in the late 60s.
Hand off to Rathjen. Rathjen to the 40-yard line. Tackled by Chris Cannon. Well, one thing for sure has an effect on big-time pressure. There's Wally English. He has his own problems at Tulane. That's money. We're talking about a lot, thousands and thousands and millions of dollars involved in college athletics, and thereby, no matter how you want to look at it or what you want to call it, that increases the pressure to win, the pressure to draw crowds to stadiums, and on and on. And of course, I think that makes administrators a little bit more nervous about who stays and who goes. Hilliard to the 36, short of the first down. Dent with a tackle again. Number 43, Burnell Dent, and 41, David Jackson. Those 2 linebackers for Tulane have just been all over the place. They have over 20 tackles combined tonight, 2 linebackers for Tulane, and they've tackled that young man a lot more than they would like to have tackled him, and a lot deeper in their defensive set than they would like to have tackled him. Hilliard now with 113 yards on the night, and there he is, our most valuable player, and a $1,000 check will go to LSU in the name of Dalton Hilliard from Chevrolet. Much that time, close to the first down. He's going to be about 1.5 yards away. Burnell Dent, number 43, with the tackle. It's been a game of one-on-one here occasionally tonight. 61,000 the announced attendance. That's some 18,000 no-shows, as there were about 68,000 tickets sold for this game. Clock down to 1:31, 1:30 and counting. Neither coach has decided to call a timeout here. LSU really taking their time. That 30-second clock, it's going to be 4th down, and LSU is going to have to turn the ball over. They're going to let it tick down. They'll even take the 5-yard penalty before they call in their punter to punt the ball away. That's exactly what they've done. On comes Clay Parker.
Most valuable players on defense, David Jackson, Burnell Dent. Both, at the time they were selected, each of them had 9 tackles. They cover a lot of ground. There you see David Jackson, number 41, trotting off the field along with Eddie Neal. He's a leader, probably the most consistent performer for the Tulane Green Wave on defense. Has had a fine career for Tulane.
Jackson, one of the seniors, and Dent, only a sophomore. Baham and Tyrone Vaughn's back to take the punt of Clay Parker. Fair catch is called for. At the 1-yard line. When you're hot, you're hot. Only a 39-yard punt, but a great job by that young man, Clay Parker. And now Tulane 99 yards away from the other end zone, trailing 20-7 with 1:10 remaining in this football game. From the Superdome in New Orleans. Tomorrow night, the Boston Celtics will entertain the Hawks at Boston Gardens on our Superstation Super Sports weekend. Then Saturday night, the Battle of the Bluegrass, Kentucky-Louisville basketball from Rupp Arena. And on Sunday night, Tim Foley and I will be in Richmond, Kentucky for the Boston University, Eastern Kentucky University 1AA first-round playoff game. Veals out to the 4. Lower right-hand corner of your screen, you see how much time remaining in the season for these two teams. And perhaps in the coaching careers at these schools for these two coaches. We do not know the situation with Wally English, nor do we know the definitive situation with the head coach at LSU, Jerry Stovall. But the possibilities both could move on, and the probability that Stovall won't be back is considered very high. Face mask penalty against LSU. Clock stopped at 1:02 remaining. Tulane's had their problems offensively tonight. Elmore only 2 out of 9 for 14 yards in the entire second half. Trying to get it all on this one. Incomplete. Alex Clark covering on the play. Pass intended for number 3, Wayne Smith. 52 seconds to go in the game.
Wayne Smith has made a bunch of those catches during his career. You always have to be worried when he's running neck and neck with one of your defensive backs, because he can really get up in the air.
You have to feel he might be a pro, Tim.
Got the concentration to do it. Wally English feels like he's got better concentration, or as good as concentration as any receiver he's ever been around. And that's including some guys like Duriel Harris and Nat Moore and some great receivers at Pittsburgh.
3rd down, 1, Tulane. Elmore looking for Smith again. Caught out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 4th down, 1, 42 seconds to go in the game. That was Alex Clark, number 19, covering. Wayne Smith has had himself a very frustrating night tonight. He has no receptions. Now, he did get credit for a 29-yard pass interference call that led to a touchdown, but that was not counted as a reception. Came into the game the leading receiver on the team with 35 catches, and he has none to his credit tonight. So you can bet he'll be frustrated after this ball game with a 20-7 deficit. And Wally English, he told me last night as we were chatting, he said, this is a quarterback-oriented offensive football team. It's easy to recruit the skilled players and the quarterbacks and such, but this is my first year here, and we've had our problems with John English, my son, and the court problems. With Bubba Brister, who left and went to Northeast Louisiana when Bubba Brister felt, frankly, that man, Wally English, did not play him enough in favor of his son. He said, the quarterback problems have hurt us. They're the folks who make the telecast possible. The Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. They're still trying.
Spent a lot of time in the state of Alabama this fall, Bob. I've been to Anniston, Huntsville, Decatur, Talladega. Got a lot of viewers out there watching in the state of Alabama. I'd like to say hello to ardent football fans in the Southeast.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanksgiving night 1983. LSU 20, Tulane 7, 42 seconds to go in this football game. 4th down 1, Tulane. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Single setback, Elton Beals. They give it to Beals. He gets the first down. Clock will stop there at 36 seconds. Had that been a crucial down, it would have probably stopped a couple of seconds earlier, but it'll be a first down at any rate. They'll line up on the ball, and this time is just probably going to run out here.
Probably fired up a couple more times down the field of Wayne Smith.
After they set the sticks, they start the clock again. There's Wayne Smith on the reverse. He can throw off of this and does.
He wins. Look at this.
Penalty marker down. Clock stops with 9 seconds. Pass intended for the freshman Tyrone Vaughns. And I don't know when I've seen a ball thrown further running away from your throwing arm. What an athlete, Wayne Smith.
Rolling to the left. He wings it 75 yards. Watch this one.
Brother. Eric Daniel called for pass interference. 58 yards on the penalty. Daniel called for the interference. 9 seconds remaining.
And he threw that from almost the end zone, right? 10, 20, 30, 70 yards. Put some velocity on that ball. He could be the 6th quarterback for Tulane.
I doubt if your buddy Bob Greasy could throw it 70 yards. I'm not sure. In the end zone, Larry Round. It's picked off by Eugene Daniel, the man on whom the pass interference had been called. The clock down to 2 seconds, and Daniel was the man who they called pass interference on that gave Tulane their touchdown right before the half. They just called interference there, and now he gets a chance to redeem himself.
Route is open early down the middle, but Daniel reacts well on a football and makes the catch.
So with 2 seconds left, LSU will just fall on the ball. And that'll be the end of this ball game, the 81st meeting between LSU and Tulane. This time it goes to the Tigers from Baton Rouge.
An emotional game for Jerry Stovall and his family. Stovall is one of those coaches that has a real love for the university that he's playing at. Exceptional player and coach. And there he goes. Could be the last game that he coaches for the Tigers.
Well, those men in the gold helmets love the man they're carrying off no matter what happens. LSU gets the victory 20-7 from the Superdome in New Orleans. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Watch out, kids. I'm going click, click, click. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. Sure as shooting, I'm not gonna miss. Now when it's easy as this, I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc, yeah. I'm gonna get every doggone shot. I'm gonna get you, catch you till you're caught. I'm gonna get you, ready or not. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. Kiss, kiss. The Kodak disc camera clicks from picture to picture automatically. It's easy to load, and it's built-in flash, no swim to flash. See? Want a camera that's easier and more fun than that? You're not gonna get it. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. I'm gonna get you, whoops, just like this. Ask me how I do it, it's all in the wrist. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. Look out, I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc. Hi, Mom, you better look cute, cause it's ready and shoot. I'm gonna get you with the Kodak disc.
Let's go down to the field now to Craig Sager with victorious coach Jerry Stovall of LSU.
Thank you, Bob. Well, you can relax and smile now, Coach. After the half, you look kind of upset.
Well, I was a little bit concerned. We had not played as well as I thought we could, and I thought we came back second half and played with great intensity. I think they made some good things happen. I'm very, very proud of them.
You probably want to win this game as much as any game you've ever coached.
every game is the same because it could be the last one, Coach. You could drop dead when that one's over. So you better want to win every one of them.
A lot of people are talking about this may have been your last game. What have they told you?
Who?
The athletic department, the chancellor. Anybody said anything about this possibly being your last game?
They have not said a word to me in over a month.
You'd like to be back next year, though?
Well, certainly.
You have the game ball there. What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to give it to my wife, Judy, when I get home.
She has been ill, right? Was she able to come tonight?
No, she's not. She's fine. She's 100% well. The good Lord's taking good care of her. And I knew she was well when she said she wanted her jewelry and her credit cards.
That's the game ball for it. I know she's watching on TBS.
She is. I'm sure she is. Just want to tell her I love her very, very much.
Thank you very much. Go say hi to your victorious Tigers.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be back with a whole recap of today after this message.
Taking charge. 4 years ago, we introduced Chevy Citation, and it became America's most popular front-drive car. But that wasn't good enough for the engineers. Since that time, they've improved its performance, improved its ride, improved its comfort. And after making so many engineering refinements, we made one more change. The name, announcing Chevy Citation 2.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
Free islands, the United States Virgin Islands. Free islands, the American paradise. The American paradise. The American paradise. The American paradise.
The Thanksgiving Day began with Detroit playing at home against Pittsburgh. The 44th year the Lions played on Thanksgiving Day. And on the very first possession, Billy Sims with 31 yards. And the Lions were off and roaring. That led to the first of 6 Detroit touchdowns. Pittsburgh's offense was as bad as its defense. Cliff Stout threw one of 5 Steeler interceptions right here. Stout in trouble on the rush, puts it up in the air, and it's picked off by Detroit. The Detroit offense made the Steelers pay for every one of them. Eric Hipple rolling to the right finds a wide-open Ulysses Norris. And it's not over yet. Steelers back to punt. Robbie Martin, a former Steeler, back to receive. Fields the punt on his own 19-yard line. And here's the most exciting play of the game. Up the middle, heads outside, simply outruns everybody, goes 81 yards to the touchdown. The Lions, with their most lopsided win in 15 years, have a Thanksgiving feast on the Steelers. The final, an unbelievable 45-3. Elsewhere, start of the fourth quarter, Tony Dorsett gets the pitch out from Danny White. He goes 55 yards to the touchdown. He also goes over 100 yards for the 38th time in his career. 28-10 Cowboys at this point. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Randy Love grabs it at his 10. Comes up to their 15, under pressure, coughs up the ball. Ron Fellows recovers. This turnover sets up a Danny White touchdown run. Nice bootleg to the right. It was 35-10. And the Cowboys had a nice Thanksgiving as they gobbled up the St. Louis Cardinals. The final, 35-17. Elsewhere, James Williams rushed for 2 touchdowns, 121 yards, as Memphis State defeated Louisville in college football tonight. The final was 45-7. Alabama State knocked off Tuskegee 13-3. In the NHL, Marion and Peter Stastny each had 2 goals for Quebec. Winnipeg and Calgary are tied at 1 after 2 periods. Friday, Army and Navy go to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Alabama goes to Foxborough, where quarterbacks Walter Lewis of Alabama and Doug Flutie of Boston College will be on center stage. One other game Friday, Utah State and Long Beach State. Also Friday night, don't forget, here on the Superstation, the Atlanta Hawks travel to Boston to meet the Celtics for the first time since that heated playoff battle a year ago. Bob Neal and Tim Foley will be back with a recap on Tulane and LSU after this.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
In a high-performance fighter, we go from the griddle to more than 20 degrees below in just seconds. Well, here's an all-weather fighter for your car, the new Delco Freedom Dura Power Battery. Hot or cold, it's got the starting power you can depend on. With a Freedom battery, you never need to add a drop of water.
Get a Delco Freedom battery for your car, now from just $39.95. Call 800-AC-DELCO.
It's always been our dream, a brighter place with a brighter promise over the next hill. The Gallery of Homes people know this land, because some 30 years ago they pioneered our first residential real estate network. Now there are gallery people across the continent, so wherever your future beckons, count on the Gallery of Homes people. Nobody's been doing it better, longer.
Well, that's it from the Superdome here in New Orleans, Louisiana. You're just looking at the LSU band performing their victory music, a 27 win over Tulane, the 81st meeting between these two teams. And Tim Foley, we saw a great performance tonight by Dalton Hilliard, the tailback for LSU. Some outstanding defensive play, particularly by the linebackers from Tulane. I think of this LSU team particularly, not to put down the Tulane team at all, but they've got a lot of talent, and whoever comes back as coach, whether it's Stovall or somebody else, I think they're going to be heard from in the SEC next year.
Unquestionably. We saw a tenacious performance by the Tulane defense in the first half. They weren't able to hold on in the second half. They were just worn down by that talented LSU.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And to all of you, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you'll join TBS tomorrow night for the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. Then on Saturday night for Kentucky-Louisville basketball. And Tim and I will be back with you from Richmond, Kentucky on Sunday night. So be sure and stay tuned for our Super Sports Weekend. There's the final score, LSU 20, Tulane 7. Be sure to join us tomorrow night as the Hawks will be at the Boston Garden for NBA action. Then the Battle of the Bluegrass with Louisville and Kentucky, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Then Sunday more NCAA action. Division I AA, first round playoffs, Boston University Terriers and the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. Tonight's game brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By America's #1 imported beer, Heineken. Just say, come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken. By Valvoline, your symbol of protection. By Cable News Network and CNN Headline News. And from all of us at TBS Sports, this is Bob Neal wishing you happy Thanksgiving.